if I'm on there. What's up, Wyatt the pilot? Let me know if you can hear me good. And get mine refreshed. Get my chat up. I was going to wait a few minutes, let some people get in here. I got my truck parked over there. Then we'll go through the driver's side, and then I might stay in here and chat for a little while. Depends on if my wife's going walking. She's graciously enough is going to be the camera woman tonight. That way I've got 2 free hands to open drawers and all that. Because the times that I've done a truck loadout video, I've done it one hand holding the phone and everything at the same time recording. It's a little bit hard, so it might work out better. And then plus people get to ask questions. I'm going to have this on me, so I'm going to periodically stop, check the chat, see if somebody asks a question, and I'll go back and see if I can answer that as well. What's up, Vegan Cookies Good? Got 13 people in here. One hand truck man. Yeah, it's hard to film stuff like one-handed and while you're working and all those kinds of things. To try to do some videos with you just as the camera person, you know, that's why whenever I see some of the bigger YouTubers, they've obviously got camera people who follow them around. That would make your life so much easier, but, you know, I'm not making that kind of dough. So we'll go ahead and go out here. Again, my wife's going to be the camera woman. We'll go out to my truck. So again, I've got a 2011 F-150. So I've had it since 2016. You can squeeze that together if you want. So it's the Super Cab. And I tried to pick a time where the sun wasn't going to be glaring, but I also needed to not be dark, so you might still get some sun, but hopefully not in the tool area. We've got some hitting us right now, just based on the time of day. So mine's the Super Cab. It's not the Super Cruise. So to open the doors, you know, you got the 2-door system where the whole side opens up. I kind of like that because I get this whole big opening here, but at the same time, sometimes in a parking lot, like if the spots are real close, it's hard to get in and out of here. When you open both doors, if someone's parked real close to you, hard to get the tools in and out. Also got some Morgan's maintenance hats. I told you I ordered some, got some of those in. Again, I'm not selling them or anything. I just bought them for myself. Got a few different colors. I thought they turned out pretty good. So we'll start out driver's side door. So pretty much, again, my driver's side is my main side that I try to keep the stuff on, that every time I get out of the truck, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get it done with the stuff that's on this side of the truck. So up here in the front, I don't keep a whole lot. I keep the woodstudio.com cabinet maker sidekick. Matt HMM sent me that along with that DeWalt gyroscopic screwdriver. So estimating wise, sometimes I get out of my truck and I just throw this on my belt and use that as my tape measure, just so it frees up my hands and frees up my pocket so I can go around and do estimating. I also keep some rubber, these are the spider gloves, the black gloves there. Up in here, I keep 1 pair of the gloves that I'm currently using right there. So again, I get out of my truck, I can throw gloves on, whichever one of the 2 I'm using. Here, this was the pad folio I was using. It was just some cheap one off Amazon, but again, I like this size because I can hold this, hold a laser distance measure in one hand, tape measure in one hand. I don't like the big ones, so that's why I use this size. But I just bought that Atlas 46 one, and again, I use my Pentel graph gear pencil. This is the same exact size, works out exactly the same. I just like this one better. So now I keep this one, is the one that I take in with me, and then sometimes I just store papers and stuff in this one. And then I keep this little small file folder here. So this has got some stuff for current jobs. Also, it's got my license, my insurance, all those kinds of things. I also have some things like that. So in case I go and work on a bathroom somewhere or whatever it might be, I can post that on the door outside or whatever it is. So I have several things that say different things like that. And again, that's pretty much driver's side. That's pretty much about it. You know, I don't I try to not keep my driver area real cluttered. So again, it's mostly just review stuff. So whenever I first get out of the truck, main things I grab are right here. This door right here, I keep a can of Houdini so that I can clean the tools before I put them back up. So that's what I typically do. And then I keep 2 of my holstery pouches. These aren't ones that, these are ones I use for service calls, so they're not crazy dirty. You know, if I'm gonna throw in something in somebody's house. I've got some in the back of my truck that I use for drywall every time I do drywall, so they got drywall dust and everything all over them. These are more for going in somebody's house, and I don't want a big drywall dusty pouch there, so I've got that as well. And then again, I'm just, whatever gloves, whatever package I've just opened, right now I'm using those firm grip ones up. I keep those here. I've also got that small kneeling pad. I can throw that in there as well. So again, these are just quick grab things that I normally would grab. So back here in the back side, of course, I got my Atlas vest. This is pretty much, I throw this on now every job. If I'm going into, again, a service call job, this isn't what I use on jobs, just service work. I've got it hung on a clamp up here. So again, I can take this off, put it on. I'm not going to zip it up because I'm probably going to hit my microphone and all that stuff. But inside of this one, my Vera tool check, also my fluke meter, those pretty much stay in there. And then again, I'm using the Santronics. I like that one a lot, the one I just had a video for. So non-contact voltage tester, Pentel pencil, Huttle Force pencil, the Warson light. The reason why I've got that in there, it just fits perfect in that pocket. And then a small Cobra, small pliers wrench. And then again, I add to the mix. So usually what I end up doing with this right here is I was using that DeWalt gyroscope screwdriver in this pocket, but whenever I get out of the truck first thing, if I'm gonna wear this, before I grab bags, I'll grab both of my Vessel USB screwdrivers and throw those down inside of there. And then again, I've got the Vera bit check. I've got lock and bit holders on those. So that pretty much takes care of any screwdriver that I'm gonna need. But I leave these in my bag, you know, and I just pull them out and put them in my vest as I go. Another thing that I have in here, I'll go ahead and show you now, is I've also got a rail back here. You won't be able to see it, but I've basically got a rail. It's a Packout rail that fits on the Packout. You can clip things on. I keep my MPX clipped onto that. I leave it empty, but the reason why I'm keeping that in my truck and leaving it empty is I build it out. It's also an option. It fits perfect inside of this pouch right here. So if I'm going to carry a lot of tools inside of my vest, then I'll put this in there just to protect my vest so I don't have pokey things poking in my vest. So I can use that, but I can also clip, you know, it onto the side over here or whatever too. But I always leave the MPX empty. It's basically, if there's a certain job I need 3 tools, 3 or 4 tools, I'll throw them in there out of my bags. And again, it just clips in. You won't be able to see that. There's no way I can get you back in there probably. So I got my vest. And then next in line, as we go back in here, I got the 2 zip tie holders. Those are actually clipped onto my seat belt since I'm not using that anymore. So those just hang there if I need to grab some zip ties real fast. Here's what I grab most of the time. Whenever I'm going in, I just pop that off there. What I've got back here is used to be a straight edge and it got bent. So I had to cut it off in a piece. So I put some little spacers, screwed it into the metal, and it gives myself enough room to, you know, go in here and basically clip my pouches on and let them hang there like that. So let me check the chat real fast, see what we got. Newest tool picked up, the last reviews was the Santronics and then that Screamer thing. That's the last thing. I've got some stuff on order, but I haven't got them in yet. Rob Holland, hey, what's up? He also said hi to Miss Morgan. Jay Maltzby, I love my Joey pouch. I'd like more, but one is still great. VCG, Vegans Cookies, any snacks in those pockets? Not right now. It'd be a good spot for some. Got a bunch of low profile Packout, but for $13.02 in clearance area of my Home Depot, check them out. That's nice. I've never seen it like that at mine. Jay Maltzby, tempted to grab a vest. You mentioned it a lot. I'm just in tight spaces and laying on the floor a lot. I don't know how much I actually use it. I'm tongue-tied on that one. Yeah, I don't think if you're going to crawl on your belly a lot, this wouldn't be something you'd want to run for sure, because it would get in your way and you'd be having all sorts of problems. Handy idea with the MPX. I think I'm caught up on that. So again, MPX is back here. Also, if I slide that up, I'm gonna set that there just so I got it. I can also slide over. Right here is another Big Joey. This one's more of a job one. I've got some dust and stuff on that one. But inside of that, I keep this pouch, which is the Occidental leather. I think I made a video for this one. I can't remember. This one's what I use for drywall, flooring, anywhere where I'm using. This is my favorite knife, and they don't sell it on Amazon. It's the Dolphin 03, but they sell a million of them that look just like it. But I love this thing, and I've tried to find the same exact one. I'm leery about trying another one, but this is my favorite one. So Pika, I've got that, so in case I've got a drywall screw that's a little bit proud. And then also, again, Stanley 16-foot tape measure. So this is basically a pouch I get out when I'm using this knife. So again, could be flooring, could be 9 times out of 10 it's drywall. And I just stick that in that one just because it stores easy that way. And again, I can slide it back that rail, put my MPX or MP2X on that right there. So let me put this meter back in here. So then back in here, I've got my, right now currently running the SBLD, and I'm not going to go through these bags. It's pretty much, for the most part, it's pretty similar to the loadout that's on the video, but the only thing that's changed is instead of my installation driver, I've put that DeWalt gyroscopic screwdriver in there just because it made the bag a little bit lighter. And again, what I typically use this bag for, I don't run into stuff where I need a whole lot of power anyway. So there's the SBLD. So that's out here on the front side. Next, back in here, I've got the MB3, I believe it is. Yeah, the MB3. This is my GoPro and all that kind of stuff. So if I want to get it out to film anything, I just grab this out. I didn't really have any other good use for this bag. I've had it for a long time, got it for free. So that's what I was using that for. And then way back in there, slide that out, is my Tech MCT Blackout. This one's just set up with bigger tools, and then so it's got all my 10-inch pliers, wrench. A lot of this loadout is similar to what was in my loadout, except for I pulled some tools out and put it in my SBLD, but mostly like electrical specialty tools, like the end strippers. And so if I'm going in to do electrical work specifically, and like a lot of it, I'll just take this bag in. But I've also got like my 10-inch pliers, wrenches, all those kinds of things in there. And then this side has thermal imaging camera, a few other just testers and things like that. Again, I wasn't going to go through the bag because we'll be out here all night. So all 3 of those bags, you might can get in there. I don't know if you can kind of just roughly see how much room's back in there. It goes back quite a ways before I hit my other pack out on my passenger side. And then in here, I also keep my Bosch digital angle finder. And I mostly put these here because it helps build up. You see how I got this little hump right here? Because originally I thought about cutting this off and scooting this back, but I've got such a change in profile in my seat that it wasn't going to work out that well. So I wanted to push this back and put my bags in the front, but it would take a lot of effort. I also keep a 24-inch square. It's slid up against there, holds in place when my bags are in there. And then I got the air tips. Those are the hoses. So again, those are mostly in there as in case I need them, but also they even out that spot so that my bags fit in there a little bit nicer. Let's see, where am I at now? So we'll just start at the top, work my way down. Actually, let me hit the side over here first. So this side, I got a few rags, but I always keep a box of rags up there in the front. I also have Ziploc bags, different sizes. So if I go in somewhere, take apart something, and I need to keep the hardware separate, whether it's a ceiling fan or whatever, and I want to bag them up, I take those in there. I also have some of my bags for my quick can. Those are in there as well. So mostly just bags and rags in there. I also have the kneeling pad back here. It's the Husky one. I keep that in there so I can pull it out if I want to. I'm real bad about not using it, but I've got it. And then I keep these crocodile wipes. These are good to clean your hands and all that stuff right there. They also work pretty good on tools. So that's behind my seat. Right here on the outside of this pack out, I've got one of these clips. I think it's Welke Designs. I had a video for them. This is that Woobin X3. So it's the one that changes to right angle or straight. The reason why I've got that here is because this is my preferred headlamp, because I could take and slap that on my hat and just use it like that. So that's why I like this one. I've got other headlamps in my drawers, but this is the one I just grab quickly if I'm going in somewhere. I also have this Racketeer stud finder. I just throw that, you know, wherever I want to, wherever I can find it. Up at the top. So these are my 4 probably main small organizers that I grab a lot. So I can pull this one out. That's the wire testicles. Everybody gets a good laugh over that. So open that up there. Mostly Wagos, 5s, 3s, 2s. Got some plug shims, some number 6 and 8 screws. Also got some of the Wago inline connectors, some big blues in case I run into something. These are my favorite of the wire nuts. It's the Twister Pro Ideals, brown and reds, and I got small blues, small oranges. One little roll of tape that fit in there nice. It's almost gone, but I've got that in there. And then typically I also keep a few little ground pigtails down inside the side here. I need to reload that actually. So that's that one. Next one is crimps. So just a bunch of crimp fittings. Mostly I pretty much just use, you know, these kind where you put them together. The fork and those sometimes every now and then, but 9 times out of 10 I'm using these just to put 2 wires together somewhere in a unit or something like that. So again, just several different ones. I don't even know what I was going to say with that. So let's see. I can go ahead and put them back. Assorted amount. That A, couldn't figure out what it was I was going to say on it. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Mac Bergeson Packout bit sets. Okay, I got you. So that's not too bad. That's still a pretty good deal. Ezra Belgrave, check out your local Home Depot for Romex wire 14.3, 12.3 on a major discount. They're bringing in new wire colors, so they're trying to get rid of the white 14.3 and yellow. Appreciate that. Rob Holland, I do really like the task-oriented setups. You can just grab just what you need. I try to do the same, but it's not so much a thing for me as my work is less varied as yours. Also, you seem to be in a nice area. Some of the places I work, I could not have so much tools in view. They would be there. They wouldn't be there anymore after getting back to the car. Wyatt the Pilot, thank you for this tour. You're welcome, buddy. Over here on this side, I've got these things. I found these Astro AI, and they black out, Rob, to where you can't really see. It's hard to see through the side what's in there. Now, someone can kind of still see through my front window, but again, yeah, like you said, I kind of work in places where it's not that big of an issue. This side over here, this is my bit set. So I just take, this is the ones whenever I'm going in somewhere, which again, I've got the Vera on me. I've got regular bit rails in my bags, but this is one if I'm going into a bigger job and I just want to open this up and set it out on a table somewhere. This is the Etsy set that I got, this 3D printed set right here. And it's just got a lot of random bits in it. It's my ECX bits, T25s, T20, T15, square 1, square 2, several slotted, several Phillips. So all those things. And also a little right angle adapter in case I need one of those. So bit set. Set that there. And then wall anchors. And again, I just keep a few in here. We got the toggles that are the, you know, you zip it and then pull those. These are really good. If y'all have not used these kind of toggle bolts, because after you put the toggle bolt in, this stays in place. So you can remove the toggle bolt and then put it back in. Whereas with your normal toggle bolts, you know, like this style, once you pull that screw out, you've got to put in a whole new toggle bolt, so it doesn't work well. I also use these wall dogs, I think is what they're called. These work sometimes, but a lot of times they don't grab very well. But for really light things, they work pretty well. I use the little yellow ones on transition strips and concrete all the time. And then these things right here, I mean, these are some of the best things for wall anchors that's come out in a long time. So, because then even after you're done using it, you can just screw this in a little bit more, and I feel like they mud a little bit better. So just a variety of wall anchors. And again, I've got other organizers in the rest of the truck as well of different things, but these are the ones I grab more often. So starting on the Packout drawers, let me go ahead and just shut that. So top drawer, I don't know, I'll grab the camera from her because she probably won't be able to get here. And again, I can see these from standing up. It's hard to get all this, but basically this is all my squares. I got my woodpeckers, saddle T6, also several different combination squares, a little Craig jig. I got some chalk line, lots of different tape measures. I've always got way too many tape measures and stuff, but I like to have all that I need for laying out things or, you know, marking things. That's pretty much what's in that drawer right there. So if you want to take a look at that, you can. We'll shut that. The second drawer is just kind of extra hand tools that are more specialty and stuff that I don't really use that often, but I want them on me. So we get up in here, I've got a phone charger. That's one of those wireless charging pads. I've also got this that works on M18 batteries, but now I bought that top off. It actually sits up there in my front seat, so I don't really use these things that much anymore. Also my Weehaw electrician's hammer. I decided to put that in here. Normally I was keeping it in my MCT, but then that way if I just wanted this hammer, I didn't have to dig out my MCT, because sometimes I use this. This is kind of my service job hammer, so I've got that. Also the Klein Tools self-adjusting stripper. Also the Klein ratcheting crimper. So again, here's another magnetic stud finder. I probably could get rid of that. Ever since I've got that Racketeers one, that's all I use. I keep these in here. That's the Milwaukee made in the USA. Those are those Lymans with the bolt cutters. I don't really use Lymans that often, but every now and then I might need a pair for something, so I keep that pair in here. I also keep my Cobalt cutters. I kept these in my MCT as well, but I decided to move them up into here again so I don't have to dig out my MCT if I don't have to. Needle nose screw extraction pliers by Engineer, and then also the electrician shears by Knipex. Some of these would be MCT bag tools pretty much right here normally, but I put them in here so again I don't have to get out, because there's something I still use pretty regularly in combination with my SBLD. So I just put them in here, and then if I'm grabbing my MCT blackout, I just open it up and throw these in there real fast. So I got all those. This set right here, I've got some Bondis Allen keys. I've also got some Makita 1/4 inch sockets. I also got the Gador box wrenches in here. I just kept these in here instead of the Klein because they were a little bit smaller, and they're supposed to do metric and SAE, even though really the Klein does as well. And then a bigger adjustable wrench, that's the Baco. Here's a bunch of just random screwdrivers. I keep my torque screwdriver. This is pretty much an electrical specialty screwdriver bin here. So here's my Vera torque screwdriver, the Klein pass-through multi-nut driver, also the tap screwdriver as well. And then I keep a couple ball handles in here in case I want to make myself some screwdrivers and throw them in my pouches. Knipex, I think it's called the Cutix. So I've got that. Also my screw holding screwdrivers, Milwaukee ECX dedicated screwdrivers. I don't know, I could probably take these out because now I got so many ECX bits and I use them in my ball hand. Ring doorbell tool, Klein the conduit or the lock nut pliers, and then also the Klein lock nut wrenches that are the angled ones as well. Got some punches. Also got my spring punches, and then this is like a section, like here's to turn on some water keys. Also got some tools for changing out some of my blades and stuff on my tools as well. Let me see if I can get down. Maybe my wife can. I'm gonna have to rearrange this stuff real fast. Get it all back in there in the right spot so it shuts. The hammer's the only one. This one has to go in there specifically, so I normally leave it sitting on the top. Next drawer, I'll have to mess with that. I've got it all. I have a certain way. Let me check the chat real fast. Let's see. Russ Albright just got home, so I missed the first part. I'll have to catch up after it posts. Wyatt the pilot, why do you keep the slim organizer under the drawers instead of on top? I will show you that here in just a minute, Wyatt. Was trying to figure out who you remind me of when you talk. Dale Earnhardt Jr. I guess that's a compliment. I don't know. Strap toggles are the best. Yeah, I think so too, Chris. Pretty much since I've been using those, I don't even think I've ever bought a regular toggle bolt. Best all-around drywall anchors. I like those Zippets, probably the best. Just because I don't have to have a drill bit and all that. It's not so much even the way they perform, it's just a whole lot, it's one step less of having to drill a hole a certain size and, you know, all those kinds of things. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is super accurate. I can never unhear it now. And Clinton Trinidad just got home. What's up, Joey? What's up, Clinton? So let me see. This drawer right here is kind of like just some stuff that I use pretty often on most jobs. So I keep my little Sigmund laser back here in the back. It's a 3-plane laser. So you got that there. And again, the reason why I absolutely love this one is for this very reason right here. I mean, it fits in this little Packout drawer. I've got my Bosch one with the adapters and all that stuff over on the other side. I also keep a Milwaukee Target card, best one by far out of any of them, down inside of there. So I've got both those things with me. Franklin sensor stud finder used to be my favorite, but to be honest with you, this one's been pretty inaccurate here lately. So I don't know if something's happened to it. I mean, it used to be like awesome all the time, and now I can't trust it, which I've pretty much swapped over to just going magnetic and finding something. But every now and then that doesn't work for you because it's so far away from where you're working. So, but I keep this one in here. It's really still the only stud finder that I've liked using no matter what. I also keep the Olight headlamp in here. This one is the Array 2. I use this whenever I'm sanding drywall just so I can see real well. And then also I keep the Woburn E7 in here. I don't use that for drywall. I just use this one for drywall. That way it's just nasty all the time. But I've got both of these just for whatever reason. I had room for both of them, so I keep them in here. I like them both. Then in the middle drawer here, of course, we got the Climb ET310. Can't say enough about this. I don't know what I'd do without this thing sometimes. It's been phenomenal. I've used it a lot this week. And then also got that Screamer in here. Also keep this little non-contact voltage tester, but it's also a meter by Kaiweets ST100. I keep that in there because sometimes that's a good one to throw in your pouch because it was so small, and then you can put test leads in it. It actually is a meter and a non-contact voltage tester. Also have a temperature probe. This one's the Therm Pro. I think it's actually just for checking meat and stuff like that, but it works well for everything I use it for. This is just whenever I use it to test out like water faucet temperatures and stuff like that. That's what I use that for. And then the Klein GFCI tester as well. Can't say enough about that. I mean, Klein really hit it really well with both those two tools right there. They're both really, really good. Inside of this little pouch is my Short Pro tool, and then also a little popper. So I've got that. And then, let's see, I can probably get the little tag out. It's in a little baggie, so I'm not gonna dig it out. And my temperature probe for my Fluke is in there as well. So this is kind of HVAC type stuff. The short finder tool, I've got that down inside of there. So I keep all those inside this little bitty pouch. So if I'm going to do HVAC and I grab my SBLD, I can open up this drawer, grab this out, take it with me, and use it for that. Put this back in there. Back here in the back, the Inkerma dual laser distance measure. I absolutely love this thing too. I love dual laser distance measure. I wouldn't be able to live without it now that I've had one. And if you're in the market for a distance measure, which this one does the single, like you can stick it against this side and the same as any other one, but if you're measuring spaces to be able to shoot out of both sides, I mean, it's phenomenal. And then I got the little Hoop R angle finder that's also got a laser on it as well. I think I've got a video for that when they sent it. It fit in here, so I just keep it in here. I haven't used it a whole awful lot. I've also got some little adapters, so if I'm needing to check something in a light socket or an ungrounded outlet or something like that, I can check it with that as well. So those all stay inside of there. Back here in the back, it's just razor blades. I keep this little DeWalt case. I kind of just refill it with whatever razor blades, whatever pack I open up. I just like how slim that is. Doesn't take up a lot of room. Doesn't take up near as much room as one of them huge packs. I don't need to carry 300 knives with me, or blades with me. I also got that Milwaukee knife sharpener. I think I have this one too. I'd probably take this one out now since I bought this one. I also got this style of a knife. Probably don't need that in there either since I got the Knipex. I got this out of there was something I installed for a customer, and this was inside the package to get it out. And I think I just threw it in here and forgot it was in here. So also have some of the hook blades. I do keep those in here in case I need some of those. These were on sale at Lowe's one day for like a couple bucks. Also have small razor scraper like that. So if I want to scrape something, and multiple little blades for those kinds of things as well. And then there's some of the tough built blades that work in my knife that folds out to a scraper. So I keep that. So basically a bunch of razor blades, a bunch of different knives, and some sharpeners for a regular knife. Again, I don't use that on razor blade knives, but I just keep it in here because it's a sharpener. Next one up here, Fat Avon. I just keep that in here because I didn't have anywhere else to stick it. And then right here are all the heads to my installation driver. I keep those inside of here because I had room for them. This one's just some extra pencils and markers. So I got a Pica 3030 in here, another Pica marker like this, several different leads for the pencils and stuff. That all stays inside of there. So that's pretty much the Packout drawers and what's inside of those. Now, as to why I have this underneath of here wide is because I can't fold it back because I've got let me go ahead and jump in here real fast and move my crate out of the way. I don't get in here often, so it's not a big deal that I have to do that. But I could have bought a plate. I'll be right back. Just stay there. So these things are $30 for these things right here, and I get nothing out of them. You know, there's nothing I can do with it. It's just a space taker upper. So these are like, I think, what are they, $40 or something like that, I guess, 39. And I just took mine and took the screw, I put some screws, I don't know if you can get in here and see, I just took some screws and put it down through the feet into my wood here. So basically it's acting like that mount right there, but I can hold fasteners and things like that in here. And these are all fasteners left over from jobs. So just random things like, you know, lag screws. I've got some metal screws, self-tappers, some tap cons, some deck screws, trim screws, drywall screws, whatever it is. This is like basically we've all got that random screw drawer in our garage. That's what this is in my truck. I don't plan to get stuff out of here, but if I'm in a pinch and I need a tap con, I know I've got some inside of here if I need some. So basically I bought this to be a holder for my drawers, but it also holds some screws as well. So let me put this back. Let's see, let me check the chat before we get into the green drawers. Actually, I just left this one out. And again, I can, with my crate in there, I can still open it this far, because every now and then I'll come in here and stick my hands in here and get out, you know, this screw or whatever. I don't have to get my drawers out every time. Before we get into the green, let me check the chat. Jay Maltzby, any Rex for prescription safety glasses? I'm blind as a bat. I probably need some, but I have some from my previous job. Yeah, I just wear my normal glasses. I probably do need some. My HVAC life, big Earnhardt fan, senior and junior since the 80s. I like all your stuff, and you added some tools to my bags from your videos. Vegans Cookie Good, smash that like button. Glen Monroe, I used to have a truck. VCG said now you have 2 trucks. Matthew Ellsworth, Jay Malsby, I think John Malecki released shop shades and they are now available to add prescription lenses. Garrett, why do you have the Klein wrenches that are on sale? Are they nice? I'm getting ready to get in a drawer that has those, Garrett. VCG, Vegans Cookies, I see plenty of room in your screw parts for a cookie. Yeah, probably could put some snacks in there. My wife knows that sometimes I hide snacks in the truck and come out here and sneak them so that she and the kids don't know that I'm eating them. Let's see, I think I'm caught up there. So green drawers, again, I built these drawers a long time ago, and I had even taken them out of my truck back when I went to work at the facility that I was working at, because there was a period of time where I left there and went and did commercial construction project management for a couple years, and then they called and asked me if I wanted to come back, and they wanted me to. So I didn't even have these in my truck for a long time. I built them a long time ago. And then I put them in, and of course the whole reason for this space here was I still left my back seat in here. So in case I needed to, I could always pull this out, and then when my kids were younger, I could have the back seat if I needed to. So now I don't need that, so that's why I took that out. So on here, I've got, again, these are actually the, I think it's called Weldy or something designs. These are for the Nolster. This Nolster right here that I keep on my tape, that's what all these are meant to be for, but you can clip other stuff on them as well, as long as it's not a really big belt clip. So I keep a tape measure on there. That's the one I grab the most and leave that on there. Olight O-clip there. That normally stays in my MCT, but I just put it here in case I want to use it, and then I can put it in my MCT. And again, the Racketeers stud finder ball. I also got the small Rayler mag mats that I use. I used to put a parts bin on these. Those are just unistrut washers. I just screwed some of those on there. So now if I come out here and I've got extra bits, let me take this out. And if I got an extra bit or extra screw and I don't have time to put it up or whatever, you know, I can just throw stuff on those and then deal with it at some point in time. So let's see. First drawer up here, this one stays primarily empty. This is kind of my extra drawer. I keep some stuff in it all the time, but if I'm loading up out of my garage and there's some certain things that I want to take with me for a specific job or whatever it is, I like to have myself a little bit of room left over. I don't like to just 100% fill my truck up. So in here, Empire digital torpedo level, I keep that in there. I also sometimes it gets thrown in this drawer up here, but it can be up there. Bosch outdoor laser measure, that's the one I just picked up on clearance not too long ago. I keep that in here because if I need to measure outside, you know, this is about your only option for that. It works really well. It doesn't really fit in any of my other drawers, so I keep that in here. Here's the Klein wrenches. Again, I just made a video about these, that they're on sale for half off again. I just keep these in here as sets of metric and SAE wrenches. And the reason why is because I like this right here. See how much smaller that is than if I had like a big old case or the things that you put in your toolbox. So I'll get out one of them since somebody was just asking about them. They don't have like a real big like lip or anything like that. They don't have a switch as well. You got to swap them back and forth to do the on and off. But I mean, I like them. And for that price, for the $40 price, they're not bad. I definitely wouldn't pay the $80 per set. I wouldn't have bought them. That's why I didn't buy them until I got them on deal. I mean, they're just basically a set of, you know, ratcheting wrenches. They seem to work fairly well. I haven't used them a whole awful lot. And again, most of the time whenever I'm using these, it's in a home putting something together or something like that. I've actually used those Gadors and then the Klein versions. I keep this wrench here. This one stays in my SBLD, the 3/8 quarter, 7/16 and 5/16. I use those more often than I use these. So I've got those. That's why I don't get these out that often, but I like to have them, you know, just in case I need them for something. But again, they're on sale right now. That's not a bad deal at 40 bucks. I need to do something. I think some people have told me somebody colored in one and didn't color the other. I need to do something or write on them or put something just so I know which one's which, because I've had to open them both to figure out which one's metric and which one's SAE. Up here I keep my Metabo heat gun, and then also the Metabo, the triple hammer. This one's the 36 volt. I got this on clearance at Home Depot or at Lowe's one day with 2 batteries. And then since I had those batteries, and again, I've also got some nailers, I went ahead and bought the heat gun in Metabo because it was cheaper. I also liked the way that it worked. It came with the tips and all those things that Milwaukee didn't come with. So that's why I bought that. And this is just one, you know, sometimes I want to change it up on a job. I'll get this one out on framing jobs and stuff like that, just to run something a little bit different. Again, just to make something more interesting. But empty space in there in case I got something else I want to stick in there. Oh, over here on the side, again, I contoured this with my seat. That's why, you know, and I didn't want to make this drawer weird and all those things. So I had a little cubby right here that was left over whenever I built this. And inside of that, I keep my 24-inch Stabila digital level. And these are phenomenal. All the digital levels from Stabila are great. So I keep that in there. And then I also keep my 24-inch. I think that's all, it's all I keep in there. 24-inch level 5. I already forgot what they're called now. Skimming blades. Yeah, there you go. I was missing the name on that. Mrs. Morgan knew what it was. So those both fit in there great, good spot for it. And I like to have both those things. I like to have that skimming blade. If I get called for a patch, you know, that skimming blade makes a patch so much easier to manhandle. That's all that's in that drawer. Next drawer down, this is all my bits and bobs, I think is what y'all call it over there across the ocean. Let me check the chat. Colin McCrouse, this man is the live stream king. What's up, Colin McCrouse? Jacob, anyone call you that by chance? Oh, you the man Jomo? No, I don't think anybody's ever called me Jomo. Older Ford Ranger King Cab could be an affordable option for those looking to replicate this vid. Let's see, Wyatt the Pilot, I have a Canyon. I'm saving up to put a highway products pickup pack on. Let's see, Chris Conway Krause, enjoy the videos. Jay Maltzy says he's building out a Honda Odyssey. Close enough. I've been looking at the Sprinter vans. Like I've got this set up to where, to me, it's almost like having a van. Like I can get to everything from standing on the outside of my truck. I don't ever have to crawl in and out. But I can see the appeal of having a van to where I could basically get in one space and have access to like right now, I've got to go over to the passenger side and get some stuff. I got to go to the driver's side and get some stuff. I see the appeal of it. But again, as much as vehicles cost, mine's paid off. I'll probably drive it till the wheels fall off. Let's see. Joey, I like that Klein canvas pouches come in different colors. Now makes differentiating, that's too hard of a word for me to say, Chris. Differentiating what's in them much easier. VCG, you all my painter friends like the Toyota Sienna. Just color the emblem red and blue for metric and standard. I think that's what I'm going to do, my HVAC life. Dude, once you get a Sprinter, though, it's a game changer. That's what I'm thinking, Krause. I've never had one. I've drove one before. I used to do pickups at the last job that I was at every now and then of like donations and things like that. And that's what they drove around. But I never used one to work out of. So this drawer here, lots of stuff in this one. So this, I've got tons of these from where I pulled them out of my organizers to put tools and stuff in. So, and it worked out perfect. Like, and again, I built these drawers like years before I even had Packout. Now I might have had some of the old organizers and they're about the same size, but I mean, I didn't plan for this. This just happened. But that's how good I am. It just, stuff falls in place. So this is all my holstery. There's Magmaster, Spider tool holsters, another Magmaster, belt clips for my Milwaukee in case I want to put them back on, Driver Master. I've got the Spider tool that wrap around yours. So anything basically, here's the Spider Tool Pro. Anything basically that I would put onto my vest or anything to help hold a tool. Typically in this one, This one's just a random bits, so long bits in case I run into something. I typically use bit holders, but every now and then you need to get in somewhere deep. Also, security bit set, speed out set, that Apex insulated driver, so it's supposed to be insulated. I've never hit anything live. I don't know how well it works, but you can put your bit in here and this is supposed to keep you from getting hit with it. I got the old Gator socket that I don't think I've still ever used. And then other than that, it's just random stuff that, you know, whenever I have it, it doesn't necessarily go in a case. It's just weird stuff. I just throw it in here, and this is my dig through bit drawer basically for whenever I want to find something that's a little bit weird. I got the Klein mod box. This one's the 1/4 inch pass-through set, so I've got that. And then I took this Klein mod box, I took the little insert out, and this one's got a 1/4 inch ratchet, and then this one's got mostly locking bit holders and Malcos and stuff. So these are mostly bit holding type things. And then I just put that 1/4 inch ratchet in there in case I need one. I'll have to pull some of this stuff out as I go. This one here, this one's the back from all the way in my how do you organize your bit organizer. So drill bits, that one's got a random screw inside of that one for some reason. You can tell that one, that's for the 1/2 inch. That's for all those toggle bolts. Whenever you do those, that's the size. So it's got drywall on it. And then this one's got my countersink, my centering hinges. These are countersinks. And then these drill bits just came in this Craftsman set whenever I bought it, and I just left them in there. But just some drill bits. Again, this is kind of like, I use this the way that I use this Packout up here. I'd like to probably make myself a Packout drill bit holder like this, put something like this, because this is something I'll take in if I'm working on a job site and I just want to take a bunch of random drill bits in. I'm gonna stick this on there, so it's a good spot for that. In here, this is stuff for my 1/4 inch Milwaukee die grinder. So just different bits, little sanding things, all those things. So that's what's inside of this. Oscillating tool bag. You can see the blade on there. I got this with some blades at Milwaukee on sale on one day. Just a bunch of random blades and stuff down inside of there. Here's the Milwaukee flip socket set. That's the metric SAE and all those things. I keep that in here as a quick socket set to get to. I've got a 3/8 impact socket set Milwaukee in the back of my truck in my deck drawers, but this one's easier for me to grab if I just need a set real fast. This is the one that I come in here and grab and get out of my drawer. Right here we've got the carbide cutting hole saws by Klein right there. So anytime I'm working on a box and need to make a hole, that's typically what I use, because I don't do it enough that I'm not going to carry a punch out set and all that kind of stuff. That tends to work out for me. I'll set that over there. Here's some of those like diamond tip or whatever it is you want to call them for drilling and tile. I need to get a new one of that size. I've eat that one up. So I've got those. Spider drill bits. I really like these. They seem to work well. I got them on sale, so I just throw them in here as an extra set of drill bits. You can never have too many drill bits with you, in my opinion. That's the one thing you're going to end up missing. I'm going to leave these here while I dig back in the back. Greenlee self-tappers. That one came out. I broke one of these as well. I need to replace one of these sizes here, but self-tappers. So a lot of times whenever I'm needing to put a ground in somewhere or fix a box to fit a screw in, that's what I use those for. Let's see, back here I've also got, and this is kind of random that this is in here, but it fit in here and I didn't have any other place to put it. And you could use this, it doesn't have to be on a DeWalt impact, but this little shear right here seems to work pretty good. I keep it in there in case I run into something. And then I've got my Door Doctor hinge set. So you got residential, commercial, heavy duty industrial doors, all those things. It's basically for different size hinges. Basically you slide this on a hinge of a door, you open it and it fixes it. It's pretty simple. If it's got a little bit of a sag, it basically bends that hinge. Expensive set, you can do it without it, but this is just really simple. You just, again, slide it over the hinge, open the door, and it works out for you that way. Let me slide these back in here. Greenlee. Spider, Klein, Bosch. Let's see, this one goes here. These go there. Let me check the chat. Why at the Pilot did you make your extended cab drawers out of wood or metal? These are wood. I just built them out of, I always build everything out of wood typically because I got a lot of scrap on the jobs. So I think I built this for free, you know, with this leftover stuff that I've got on jobs. Tooling with Newman just arrived. Love the new hat. I used to run a Sprinter van. They are great, but you have a great setup there. Matt HMM, don't care much for tall vans. We use a lot of the E250s. Vegan Cookies good. Forest Transit. Let's see, y'all are hitting up on which vehicle's the right one. Clinton Trinidad, Jade, thanks for the tip. I just got the Klein ratcheting wrenches. Deal is still on. Been looking for some, but they're all so expensive. I really don't use them much, but again, thanks. You're welcome, buddy. Cola McCrouse, that Carbet said looks nice. May need to invest in those. Heads up around my local Lowe's. Looks like the Weehaw tools have been getting clearance. Yeah, they were at mine too, and they were finally all gone. I kept watching them in the back, and they were only like down like $2 or $3 a piece, and I was waiting to see if they was going to drop more, and they probably did, and then somebody went in there and bought them all. I've been keeping an eye on them, but I didn't end up getting any of them. Apache, what's up, Apache? Joey, your setup super cool. Love your channel, the videos, your work ethic, just great all around. Appreciate that, buddy. Mark Fredericks, your truck is amazing. Appreciate that. You know you have a setup when something doesn't go in perfectly, it drives you nuts. Yeah, like and the way I do this, like you're going to think, well, this is crazy to put that back every time. But just like I just showed you, I know exactly where everything goes. And then I can open this drawer. Like, so if I come out here after a service job and I have used these, whenever I look in this drawer, I'm like, where's my Klein hole saws? And they, oh, I left them inside there. I got to go get them. And that's what I try to do with my tool bags. That's what I try to do with all my stuff, so that it's just a visual check every time to try to not leave stuff on job sites. It still happens to me occasionally. Have you ever heard of Diamondback tool belts? Yeah, I've heard of them. I haven't tried any of them. Apache, word of advice, the yellow tags at Lowe's don't get updated much or even once at all. So it may show $2 or $3 off, but it may really be $1. That's good. Appreciate that. All right, I think I'm caught up. So this here is that, I think it was Nico, or I can't remember what the brand name on this. It says Black Robot, but it's that little swivel set for your impact drive. So I just have these in here. It didn't take up much room. I really like it. So basically you have a 1/4 inch that you can put 1/4 inch sockets on. It's got that swivel. Also comes with a 3/8 and a 1/2 inch drive, and then you've got the adapters to put them in your impact. So again, just in case I'm running my impact sockets back there and there's some place I can't get into, anytime you can have some help, it's going to work out. So that's there. Here's some spade bits. I got to replace my 3/4. I need to make a note of that. That 7/8 is actually in the wrong spot. So move that over here. So spade bits. Up here, these are those Milwaukee concrete bits. I think they're pretty good so far. I've used these. I've also used the other ones that I'll show you in a minute. The little 1/8 inch bit right here, that works really good. I use that a lot on, again, thresholds in concrete where I got to put anchors or something in. I use that, and then small zip ties. And then I've obviously used the 1/4 inch. So 1/4 inch, 3/16, and 1/8 inch I've used. I haven't used the bigger sizes yet. Here's a quick set of drill bits. So this is the one that I'll grab before I grab the Craftsman one if I'm going in somewhere and just need drill bits. So I've got those. And then this is that multi-purpose, multi-material. I've used these a little bit. I like them too. They seem like they work okay as well. So all these drill bits have been pretty good by Milwaukee. And the new cases, you know, that's a big difference right here, getting those in and out, than those old cases. You know, the old ones where you cut your fingers all the time. So that's definitely a lot better right there. So again, there's my bits and bobs. So that all goes in there. Swing that up. And again, I have these on here. For one, if I go to get work done on my truck and I don't want to unload all this, I put padlocks on these so that, like, if I'm getting you know, my tires rotated or whatever, I can unload all my other stuff pretty easy, and then I just leave this in there. But again, that's why I work on my own vehicle mostly, just because I don't want to. But the main reason why I put these on here is just to keep these drawers from opening while I'm driving, because if I take a curve super hard, you know, and this is like this thing flings out and hits my door, all that kind of stuff. So I just put those on there for that reason. Bottom drawer, so here's my surge. I keep that into a Spider tool holster. I swap back and forth between it and the Noster, but right now I'm running it with that. But that can slide out. You know, it doesn't matter that it's on there. And then this is my go-to as far as my impact that I take with me on most jobs. So that's why I kind of leave it out like that. So it still slides in and out with it being there. And then I can even take off that whole thing with me and take the Spider tool holster with me if I want to. So this is my Milwaukee drawer. So we've got mainly the main tools. Again, my deck drawers back there house all my specialty Milwaukee tools, but I've got my M12 Rover light. That's the light I grab to throw in her sinks a lot of times. And then I just keep random number of batteries in here. So at the end of my day, whenever I get home, I go in there and charge the ones that I've used, swap the ones in my garage, put them in this drawer. It's just a cycle, you know, that I go through with that. So M18 ones just hang out up here in the front. The M12 ones, I bought some of these 3D printed holders a long time ago for something else, so I just screwed some inside of the drawer because I already had them. And again, I usually keep a couple of the 5s, and then mostly a bunch of 2.5s or 2s, or I mostly keep more small M12 batteries because that's what I typically use. And then I keep a few big ones for if I'm running my circular saw or something like that. But all that stays in the back of the truck. So installation driver, also the M18 surge. So again, I swap back and forth between this and the triple hammer on bigger jobs, but 9 times out of 10 I'm just using that one right there. M12 fuel oscillating tool, also M12 hammer drill. This is my drywall mixing drill. So I don't even use it for a drill. This is pretty much to mix drywall, hot mud in my pan. That's what I use that for. I also have the die grinder there. So that's what I was telling you that little bag was for, is for the die grinder. And then right angle impacts for in case I need to get in some tight spots. This works pretty well for that. And then I think this is the last one. Yeah, the M18 hammer drill. Again, in case I just need to drill a bigger hole like a hole saw or something like that. That's what I use that for. So again, mostly the bottom is M18 tools and batteries. And the main ones that I would typically grab out, all my other ones hang out back there in the back in my deck drawers, which we'll just have to do that at a different time. And those typically all fit in here a certain way as well, and I didn't put them back in there right. I know I didn't, so there we go, that'll work. I don't think it's gonna go, but I didn't put them back in the right way. So again, that's why I normally leave my installation driver out here first, my surge next, the oscillating tool. Those 3 hang out here in the front because all the other ones are just, I don't get those out near as often. But 9 times out of 10, again, I just grab this one right here. The last thing, I guess, is right here. So here are my Muddy Buddies. So these are slippers to slip on, and then I went ahead and bought, I'm wearing a pair right now. I wear these kind of shoes all the time, these Skechers. I love these. So these shoes right here are the same things that are in here. So instead of slipping these covers over my shoes every time, I just change my shoes altogether and just swap them back and forth instead of having to sit there and go. So these just stay on there all the time. And then back inside of here, again, because this right here goes just as deep as that does. I've got that little set of the nut and bolt checker. I think I had it upside down. I'm not going to use that very often, but I wanted to have it on me. And then back in here, I also keep vacuum bags. I've got some for my rigid shop vac that I use on job sites. It's an electric one. And then I've also got some for my M12 or my M18 Packout vacuum. So these are all just stuff I don't need very often. I had the room back there, and you know, that way I've got them on me. I've got them if I need them, that type of thing. So let me check the chat, make sure there aren't any questions for anything that's in here. I have the 701 vest and I like it. That's the Diamondback vest. I know Matt has that. Let's see, Sizzle Next Mediocre Garage. I'm interested in how you mounted it to your F-150 floor. This right here is just sitting there. I don't have it mounted at all. I do have, it's kind of locked in with my passenger side packouts and some stuff. It doesn't move. Like, I mean, it wiggles some, but it doesn't, it's never shifted on me or anything like that. So I don't have it mounted at all. Now, if I got in some kind of crazy wreck, I don't know what would happen. I'd probably be in bad shape, but let's see. Yeah, Matt said probably friction, which it's pinned between my seat and the back and stuff like that too. Matt HMM, the Milwaukee or Bosch universal bits do decent enough for most of my work. Brand of shoe cover, Kullum Kraus. These are Muddy Buddies. So they just slip on your shoes. And they've got a little thing where you can tighten it up and loosen it so it fits on different sizes. And they're kind of like a neoprene. So like almost like what seat covers, a lot of seat covers are made out of, that kind of thing. And again, I just leave mine to where I don't put these on until I walk in somebody's house. So these never touch the outside, but you can wash them as well. And they got little grippies on them. I like them. I mean, they look kind of goobery whenever you've got them on. Here I'm breaking my rule. I just won't be able to let them touch the ground. I mean, but again, I just swap shoes just like I did right there. And I just leave the shoe in there. And then that way I don't have to, I never put these on and off. They just stay on the shoes. I feel like that's a lot better to do that. Let's see. It's not ideal, but I can drill a hole in stone with an impact with them, and they work on every other material. I hear Hercules impact bit sets are really good. I haven't tried those, vegans. Who's recording? That's my wife, Plumbing with Quaz. Stephen Vladimirov, probably butchered that. Hey Joe, are you planning on getting the new Milwaukee rolling box? That's a large single drawer. Absolutely I am. If I do this with the back of my truck, I'll show you. I've got my rolling box in there. I'll show you what I keep in there, but why I would like for it to be a drawer instead of opening. It'd be a lot better for me. Matt HMM, the Handyman Experience has a shoe cover that works well. Don't know the name, but they work great. Just step on. I've seen those. They're called, I had them in my Amazon wish list, but Amazon I think quit selling them, but I know which ones you're talking about. Plumbing with Quaz, hey wifey, much love for helping us get the Morgan content. Tidy Tracks, that's it, Matt. Shout out to her. So let me throw these tool bags back in there, and then we'll go to the garage. So anybody got any questions before I shut the doors? So again, Tech MCT. MB3, I very rarely get those out. And then my SBLD, and I put this in there like that, so that way I can grab tools out real easy and throw it in my vest if that's what I want to do. So check chat one more time. Jay Maltsby. Thanks for the tour. Thanks for being an awesome camera woman, Miss Morgan, Miss Maintenance, so we can all nerd out. Pumping the Cries during the last Milwaukee event. They announced it and showed it. Great camera work, Miss Morgan. Thank you. All right. So I'll move in here and get set up. I don't know if Miss Morgan's going walking or not, but I'll chat for a little while just in case y'all got questions. Cable stapler. Let me get y'all set up on here. I may even swap it around so I can see. You say you are going walking?
I'm going to bring you something to drink.
So Miss Morgan said she's going walking. So I guess you can keep chatting it up with me if y'all ain't got nothing to do.
I'm going to bring you something cold to drink.
See, no vest demos today with the wife. I promise. I did appreciate that the other day. I've got one Atlas vest of mine, which I emailed Matt and told him because I think he ordered the same one. I ordered, they had like some kind of crazy clearance deal going on. So I ordered a vest, and then I also ordered another vest like that one, except for it's the different model without all the mesh, because it was like $100 something off of it. And they quit it looked like they quit selling the one that I got there. Like they didn't have any of the other versions. And I've got to where I like that one so much that I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and order this one so that I'll have two. And then that way, if I decide I want one for clean jobs and I want one for dirty jobs, like I might start wearing, I gotta get a drink here in a minute. The other one on a job, like job site vest. I hadn't decided or not yet, but I definitely just went ahead and wanted to buy it because it was crazy on sale. And it looked like maybe they're gonna quit making them or something like that. So I've been working at that project job the last 2 days. The first day I did a lot of electrical work and I filmed that day. I didn't film today because it was just a crazy day. But let's see. Jay Malsby said he's out. I'm thinking the dinner bell's ringing. Appreciate you coming in, Jay Malsby. Let's see. What do you got in your bed right now? Just mostly my standard stuff, and then I got some stuff for that project job. I'll probably go around and I'll probably do a decked and back of my truck thing, just like what I did now. That way, you know, if I do a live and then somebody can watch for a lot of times people don't have 2 hours to sit there and watch a video, but they can watch that, and then while we're doing this, if they didn't want to watch anymore, you know, they can go eat dinner or do whatever. So I'll end up probably doing my deck drawers and stuff similar way, because it's just a lot easier for me with 2 hands if I can talk her into filming. Because even whenever I film my truck loadout videos, I'm carrying around a camera or a phone in my hand and then trying to open drawers and all that. It's just not very easy. See, the person who has the Vito waste bags, love them. She's under 120, but it went to a good home. Colin Kraus, bro, I saw the sign in the back of the last video. So true, my guy. Builds character. It does. You know, I actually found that one because I'm talking about doing a live where me and my wife are both going to be out here and we're going to read like mean tweets or mean comments. And that's, I found that sign that I was going to put up, you know, while we were doing that. So I thought that was pretty funny. You plan on getting the new Gen 2 Milwaukee stubby? Probably not. That small one I've got does all I need. I don't do a lot of crazy heavy duty work, so I probably won't end up getting that. I'm gonna move over a little bit. Get centered. VCG, vegan cookies good. Dinner plans? I don't know yet. I ain't decided. I've been on a diet I'm back on my strict. My pants were getting tight, so probably chicken or something like that. Justin Richards, I ended up getting the M18 radio you have up there. It's not too bad. Quarter the weight of the Packout radio. I like it, but again, I just use it out here, and it's loud enough. Like if I use it in my garage, open my garage door, I can hear it if I'm working out in the yard. Those kinds of things. But again, I don't work on job sites where I'm able to boom a radio, so I didn't care about getting anything crazy big. Must be Gen X, judging by the TV in the background. I used to do the same. Matt HMM, still rocking the M12 radio myself. That's the one that stays in my truck. That's my favorite radio, just because it's so small. I really like it. Dude, yes, do that with the comments. We're going to do it on Night's Pod. Yeah, that'd be good. I've had some really crazy ones. Most of mine have been not that bad, but I've had a couple of them that were pretty comical, in my opinion. Russ Albright, hey Joey, do you have a recommendation for LED recess can replacements? I have some old Juno recess cans that I would like to switch out to LED. Yeah, most of those they sell where you just have the little bulb on the wires and you just wire it up in there and put in there. So you just got to get the ones that you make sure fit your, a lot of times they still have the same, you have to get the kind that has either the 2 wires or the clips that fit your can. So that's the one thing you got to pay attention to. But Halo makes good ones. I've used a lot of Halo lights. Also, that Commercial Electric at Home Depot, I've used some of theirs, which I've mostly been buying those canless lights now. If I go anywhere and they want can lights, I'm like, you either want canless or I'm not doing it. Those are so easy. It's crazy. those have been really the biggest thing in electrical in the last 10 years, in my opinion, have been those canless can lights, where you can just cut a hole anywhere you want to. Doesn't matter if you hit framing, you know, it's way easier than anything else. And not really, and a lot of times you can go up there and feed your first one in the attic and then come down and do the rest of it from down below and just fish your wire and then go up there later and staple stuff. Wyatt the pilot's got to go. Appreciate you coming, buddy. Hey, holding the flashlight is important. I have a relative. I make him come and watch so he can learn to fix something. Justin Richards says he's about to ruin it at a solar field. M12 radio's a charger too. Yeah, I was thinking that it was. I never carry the little adapter with me to plug it in, which I probably should, because a lot of times I have room to plug it in, but I always just throw a battery in it. It seems like even a 2 amp hour battery lasts all day, and even sometimes then some, which I don't know if it takes more battery if you crank it up louder. I don't crank mine up that loud. I think mine usually stays on like 6, something like that. Cool McCrouse, what new tool are you most excited about from recent pipelines? Sorry if you covered it before. No, I mean, we've talked about it just randomly, but not really specific. I want the rolling toolbox with the drawer for sure. I also think I'm going to get the M12 rotary hammer with the chiseling function, the M12 fuel. I've got the regular one, but I'd like to have the chisel function because I don't have any of the M18, which really, again, some of them I don't know the price of them yet. If the price is close to the M18 on that M12, then I'm just going to go ahead and buy myself an M18 one, because right now I'm using my Bosch with a battery adapter, and I'd like to eventually one day get an M18, but I've got the M12 already, just doesn't have the chiseling. So if the M18 and the M12 are close in price like the Brad nailers are, I'll probably just still buy an M18 and just have a bigger one, and then still just use my M12, because my M12 works great for like tap cons and all that kind of stuff. But every now and then you need to just, chisel at something. And I'm sure it won't do something crazy, but I'd like to have that for sure. The rear handle saw, I'm going to look at that and see if it's much lighter. And if it's not crazy lighter, I'm not going to buy it either. But if it's crazy lighter and it, performs better and all those kinds of things, I might end up getting it. I'm trying to think of what all else I saw. There was 2 or 3 things that I saw that I was really wanting to get for sure. I still can't believe they haven't come out with a new Surge yet. And the tools with Soals, he's got that rigid, kind of like the hydraulic drive like a Surge, but it's a newer technology because Rigid came out with it. And of course, Rigid Milwaukee's really all in the same. I'd like to see them do something with the Surge to me, add more lights on it. I don't even care if you give it more power or all those kinds of things. It's just like, it's time to come out with a new one. I'd like to have a new one. Clinton Trinidad, never seen a door doctor, but that looks really useful, especially when doing renovations, when you're adjusting a mess of doors. Going to have to look at that as well. Thanks and have a great weekend. Appreciate it, Clinton. Appreciate you joining in. It's really expensive, but if you work on doors a lot, it's worth it, because, again, you slide it over the hinge, you open the door, and it puts tension. I wouldn't do it on a wood door, like a house wood door. It's going to rip the screws out. But in commercial doors, which is mostly what I work on, you open it and you can feel tension, and then you let go, and as you keep doing it, it basically just slowly fixes the door. But it's also got grooves on there that you can like you can shut the door, which this is what I do on wood doors. I just leave the door shut and put my adjustable wrench on it and do the same thing as opening the door, but then it keeps the screws from getting so bound up and maybe pulling out of the wood. But it works great. But to me, if you don't do like doors professionally, like I bought the door studs, the move doors, I bought those. I work on doors a lot, so that's why I bought them. It's buy once, cry once. I mean, I've got them for life. They're a tool that's never going to wear out. It's just nice to have. Any recommendations on a DeWalt drill? Mine has lost speed 2. It only has speed 1. Apache's got you one there. I know nothing about any of the new DeWalt stuff, so I haven't run DeWalt since 18-volt NCAD days. But Apache there, he watches enough tools and tactics and runs all that he knows what's going on. Any XR one, honestly, Matt said, so same thing there. And then Clinton Trinidad gave you the real answer. Get Milwaukee. Now, I'm not, I'm whatever tool works for you and whatever tool works. This is like I got that Metabo tripper hammer I got on a crazy deal and I like it. I'm not like, I use it. It doesn't bother to me. It doesn't make a big difference to me. Like, is one faster than the other? Probably by a few seconds, but ultimately that stuff doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter to me. I just like how they feel in my hand, how they perform. If it takes me a few seconds more to put in a screw, it's not going to be the end of my life. M12 rotary hammer is going to have the chisel mode. The new one is Nissan. The one that they had at Pipeline is going to have it. That'll be the first M12 like 12 volt one that I know of that has chisel mode on it. And again, I don't know how well it's going to work, but if it's compact though, and you don't do like heavy demolition, and you're just wanting to chisel off backsplash tiles or something like that, it'd be pretty good. Or getting floor up out of corners just to have a smaller drill. So I think it'd be pretty useful. Justin Richards DeWalt came out with a new drill that looks awesome, but I'm all red, but it still looks cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of tools. Like, there's a lot of tools that I'd like to have and like to try or whatever, but I'm not going to spend, bukus of money just to have tools laying around just so I can try them out. If it's not something, I don't want to have a bunch of batteries. Again, I'm not a YouTube channel tool reviewer that I'm just buying random stuff just to test and give y'all a review for. I'm buying tools that I'm using on my jobs, and then I'll tell you about them. You can decide if they're a good fit for you or not. Let's see. So the DCF 870 is hydraulic impact driver coming out soon. So DeWalt's hitting the impact or the like hydraulics as well. That's pretty cool. Mac Bergson, even though I live in Florida, I'm getting one of the new Milwaukee heated jackets. I've got a heated hoodie, and then I've also got a heated, like I used to call it, looks like a North Face type jacket. And it looks smoky outside. It's getting foggy. It's foggy, not smoky. I was making sure there wasn't somebody's field button on fire or something. Let's see. Have fun all, getting close to 2 a.m. here, so going to head to bed. Appreciate you coming, Rob. Glad you got to be a part of it, buddy. Coolum and Kraus agreed on the surge. My trigger is acting just like yours when sent in for warranty, but mine's out of warranty. Yeah, it just happened one day, and it held on for like a day and a half of being sporadic. Like, I'd have to let go of the trigger and it would work, and then finally it was just like, no, I'm not doing anything else. It finally just gave it up. And I was like you, which luckily I got mine covered, but I was like, I really love it enough that I'd go buy another one today if mine tore up, but I don't want to buy one today if they're going to come out with a new one 2 months from now type thing. So I was waiting to see how it was going to pan out, but I'm assuming since they didn't have one on the pipeline, that means they're not coming out with one anytime soon. Justin Richards, I wish they'd make a new Hex-On jacket as a hoodie. Their bigger jackets are too bulky and always in the way. Yeah, I wear my hoodie as far as working in, and then the other jacket I just wear like if I'm going out somewhere during the wintertime and I want to be warm. It's one of those that's got like the rainproof type material. I like a North Face type jacket type thing, that kind of stuff. I've got one of those. Apache says the triple hammer is his favorite impact driver. It is nice. Like, I will give it to it. I kept seeing a lot of people like Perkins would use it. The R&R Buildings guy was using them. And I went in Lowe's that day, went back to that clearance aisle, and they had it and 2 batteries and a charger, and it was for $100 and something. I don't remember what it was. I did a video for it, like a short or something like that. And I want to say I paid, it was barely over $100 if I remember right. And again, I wanted the batteries work in my nail gun that I already had, and I was needing some more batteries. So I was like, well, I'm going to buy it for the batteries anyways, and then I'll get to try this out. And I really like it. I use it a lot on my framing jobs. Like, whenever I'm framing, I use it instead of the Milwaukee Surge, the M18 version, just because it still almost feels like the way it puts screws in feels like a hydraulic one almost, but it's not. And then it's a little bit more quiet than the other ones as well, like a regular impact. The M12 regular impact over here, I can't even hardly use it anymore. It's so loud, compared to the Surge, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Whenever I use it, I'm just like, ugh. Let's see. Most least used tool on top of your workbench right now. Well, I've got certain things out here because I've got a tool coming Monday that I'm pretty excited about that I think y'all are going to like, that somebody brought to my attention, but I don't want to tell you what it is yet. But I don't really have anything. I don't have anything specific out here. Let me flip you around. So none of these are out here for a specific reason. I was blowing off my desk with that. So most of these things up here are just, I grab them whenever I'm using stuff, and I was cleaning some tools earlier, so that's what those are for. Just bought me a box of switches because I used up my last one on a job the other day. I'm a Leviton person. I like their switches. I like their receptacles, and I always get the side wire, back wire. I never use quick wire, but I'm a big back wire person. I run into a lot of stranded wire, so that's why I like that. This is definitely my least used. I'll go ahead and tell you that because it's the handle for this dude right here, and it's pretty much a piece of junk in my opinion. I don't really like it at all. Yeah, like I said, none of this stuff up here is stuff that I use a ton. It's just stuff I grab. I got an old Fluke meter over there, the 177. I've had that forever. Got my name there on the back of it. I've had this. I wish there was like a date or something on it, but I've had it forever. I don't even know how long I've had that thing for. It's probably my first meter that I ever bought. Let's see. I don't use this screwdriver much. I like the grip on the other PB Swiss. I don't care for the grip on this as much. It's not near as grippy. And I wish I'd have bought the long. I mean, PB Swiss makes good screwdrivers, but I wish I'd have bought the one with the long shaft. But I don't really have anything up here that I don't use. And then these were just in here because I was straightening out stuff and cleaning stuff. It's always hard to figure out where to stick that thing. That's what she said. Let's see. Justin Richards, waiting until the end of the year is usually risky considering they sell out. Last year they had them cheap. I like getting all the generations of hoodies. Yeah, you're going to see that Saturday, how much he likes his hoodies. Mac Bergeson, true Matt, I got one of the jackets for less than 100 last year after I sold the battery, but that new heating element looks great. You must have dozens of those cheap M12 chargers. Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. I don't have as many anymore because I give them away to people. I made one work as the thing that lights up the back of my cab, my inside of my camper topper. Having a hard time figuring it out. So where I plug in a M12 battery and it lights up the inside. Let me get my. I don't know if I got my keys. I don't have my keys, so I'd have to run in my house to get that. I was going to say I'll show you that, but I'd have to go get my keys and everything else. My topper's all locked up. Surge is great for me since I'm always stripping screws. Matt, the new battery pack's going to be awesome. Yeah, is the new battery pack like a little slim flat thing? I think I might have saw something about that. I didn't pay much attention to it, but I think I saw that. I like the Ryobi high volume inflator for blowing dust. Fluke meters are great. Yeah, that's all I've really ever run, other than some that some people have sent me. I've never tried a Klein meter. I've never ran a Milwaukee meter. I've never had a field piece meter. I've always had Fluke meters. That's all I've ever bought. And again, I'm not saying that they're better than everything else. I'm gonna scoot a little bit closer. I haven't used anything else, so that's all I've ever used. Open up the battery cover. The little white QC sticker sometimes has a date code. Let's see. Check it real fast. I'm freaking got Phillips everywhere, but yeah, I had this even really before I was working. I've had this for a long time. Get that pried open with something. Well, I can't get in there. I think that's how it comes out if I remember right. I ain't changed the battery in it forever either. You gotta take off the whole thing, I guess. I thought it was just those 2 screws, but you must have to take all of them out. Missing my Vessel electric screwdriver right now. Having to work my wrist. That's the thing about these flukes. I bet I haven't changed the battery in this thing in probably 10 years. And it still turns on just like... I could have swore you just took this out, though. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do. Now you done got me into something, Apache. Let's see. No, I don't see nothing inside there. Let me look behind the battery, maybe. I always thought that it was this little dude that came out, but it doesn't. You got to take apart the whole thing. There might be something back in behind this. I don't think I'm gonna dig into it that far. I thought maybe this little white deal right here would, but it don't say anything on there either. I don't know how long the Fluke 77s. I'm sure have been out for a long time. I want to say even that one was like a Army issued one or something I bought from somebody that was in the Army. Let's see, Fluke meters are great. I'm thinking about getting the Fluke 376. I've had the T5 600 for so long now. Get the T6 1000 Pro. I like that T6 1000 Pro. That's the one that I was carrying in my vest. The only thing, like, if you only do electrical, you're not going to have a problem. But, like, I like for my meters to have capacitance on it just because I do a mix of going out and checking people's units and stuff, too. So I got my Fluke 324 in my SBLD, which I typically grab that bag if I'm going to work on somebody's unit anyway, so it's not a big deal. And 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing the vest, I'm mostly doing electrical stuff a lot of times in people's houses. So for an electrical meter, I love the T6 1000 Pro. Something to show us next time, Mac Bergson. Let's see. You can use a battery bank on M12 jackets if they're decent quality. I'm interested to see the lifespan of that Fluke. Good info. I'll see if I can, I'll take it apart some more and see if I can figure it out. I didn't want to sit there and just yank real hard. I was feeling a little bit of tension and I don't want to just break something. So, but I don't want to sit here and let y'all sit there and stare at me either. I want a clamp meter, but it seems the Pro will do what I need considering its width and the tricks that it does. Yeah, Apache said it's awesome, but you know how we do it. We want to have the new cool tools. I think the Field Sense is pretty nice. That's like today, I was in an attic, and there was a junction box of a bunch of stuff all mangled up together, and I was able to sit there and see and it was a couple different circuits coming in the box, and I was able to sit there and just stick the wires in my fork and see which ones had power and which ones didn't. Didn't have to take off a wire nut. Didn't have to do anything. You know, it's really nice. I just went and spent a couple $100 at Home Depot after work and came home to see Joey say the Klein wrenches were on sale. And I'm like, dang, I guess I should go out again. Mine only had whenever I looked online, mine only had the SAE in stock. They didn't have any of the metric, but you could order them and do a ship to store, I think. I hate seeing my Wera Jokers get beat up. Isn't that something, Justin? Like sometimes we'll buy tools and they're just so nice that like we hate to even use them sometimes. I get that way with some of them, like my hand tools. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to stick this. You got some job where it's this big mess, and you don't even want to stick your tool in there at all. You're just like, my tool doesn't deserve to be inside of that. Sometimes we get that way. Justin Richards, I'll probably get him after this live. Apache, I wouldn't worry about it. Don't want to damage the fluke. Oh, I've taken it apart before, but like I said, I guarantee you that battery has been in there. I mean, at least, which I only use it out here. That's my garage meter. Like if I'm trying to find something in my truck or whatever, but still just a battery sitting in it for that long. That's one thing about the flukes, man. Battery life's on them. Like very rarely you might change a battery once in your whole lifetime of using a meter. I don't know if the rest of them are that way because again, all I've ever had are flukes, but that's the way every fluke I've ever had is like the batteries last the whole entire life of the meter. Leonard says hit the like button. Appreciate that, Leonard. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's a YouTube thing not putting me out there as much or if it's just summertime so people aren't watching as much TV and then football's starting to take up, back up a little bit, and all those kinds of things. But all my views, subscribers, and again, it might just be people who don't want to watch me, I don't know, but views and subscribers and all that stuff's all been like crazy down in the last month. It's just been like boom. So I don't know, maybe YouTube doesn't like me and they're not showing me as much as they used to. I don't know. That's the one thing about YouTube is I don't get tore up about it. I don't care. It's like I put out the same videos whether it gets 100 views or whether it gets 15,000 or whatever. You have no power of knowing what something's going to do because I'm the same way. It's like I turn on my TV and whatever videos it shows me up there, like even if I'm subscribed to a lot of people and I don't see their videos unless I specifically go and look for them. But typically I turn on my TV and whatever the recommendations are up there, I scroll through those and that's what I start watching. So you're really at the power of whether YouTube puts you out there or not. Justin said this guy tried putting his Cyclops socket on an impact, and I was like, nope, use the ones from the gang box. Yeah, there's certain tools that I don't let people, like my hand tools, like I said, I'm a hand tool person. Like I've got a lot of power tools. I use a lot of power tools. I love power tools, but I really love hand tools. Like I can look at hand tools, and that's why I buy more hand tools than anything. Like I like to use hand tools. It's just something about them. I'm more of a hand tool person than I am a power tool person. My DeWalt DCF 999 3-speed, I got 2 of them. One's for mud and earth augers. Nice still. I tell you what, man, I bought the mud mixer, Milwaukee M18 mud mixer, and I bought it to mix drywall mud and like thin set and stuff like that. But I used to use my DeWalt or my Bosch rotary hammer whenever I was using an earth auger. I bought like this little cheap earth auger. Let's see. I got this off Amazon and it works pretty good. So like whenever I'm drilling post holes and stuff for something, like it at least breaks the ground up to where I can take a post hole digger and stick it in there. But I put a SDS plus adapter onto it so that I could put it into my Bosch SDS drill. And then I've got this. And then I've also got a really long extension that's SDS plus, so I can take and put this in there and then I can keep going deeper. I think I can get up to like 3 feet deep with this, but it works with my rotary hammer, does a pretty good job. But I put it in that Milwaukee M18 mud mixer and I mean it just tore that ground up. It was night and day the difference of it. So this is what I use it in now, so I have to just chuck this up into my mixer. So this thing right here was it's crazy how much this was. I think this is a Bosch. I think it was $100 just for this, but it's really nice if you're drilling through some thick concrete as long as your hole size is, bigger than that. But yeah, I've been working on that project job. I did the plumbing one that I just put out the other day. The next day I went and did some electrical demo, and I filmed the beginning, and I was filming pieces in between with my phone. Of course, all of it was belly crawling in that attic, and it was over in the corners where there wasn't a lot of room. Like it was like this, and my GoPro kept hitting the roof and moving, and then it was dark over in them corners, and I couldn't hardly carry a light with me and carry a light with me all the time to make sure everything was lit up. And I went back and watched the GoPro footage. I made a video, but I don't think I'm going to post it because, I mean, it still explains what I was doing. It gives you an update on the project, I guess, so I could do it for a project update, but it's not so much a watch me work because there's very little of the work film footage that I got. And again, that's the thing that stinks about filming, working, especially by yourself with a GoPro. I have no idea what that's filming. You know, the whole time I'm working, if it gets bumped at the very beginning and staring straight up, it's like the whole footage. So the whole time you're working, you could be thinking you're filming something, and then you get home to watch it and it's all garbage, and you just wasted your whole half a day just moving a camera around and doing all that kind of stuff. But Apache says, oh man, you should have sent that guy to just go get coffee. Oh, talking about the gang box. Let's see, that thing leaks oil out of the chuck since I work it too hard. All of your content is awesome. Guess the trade, the live streams, loadouts, and tool setup videos. I love the watch me work videos. Yeah, I try to film them as much as I can. A lot of times it's mostly a customer thing. Like there's a lot of the customers that I work for are like pretty wealthy, or like they don't like somebody filming inside their home or all those kinds of things. And there's a lot of them where they're sitting there with me the whole time talking to me, because a lot of them I've gotten close with, and I don't feel comfortable like filming somebody else and then them not being okay with it or something like that. So a lot of times the job just has to work out right where I'm going somewhere and it's an empty space, and you know, I can film and don't have to worry about whatever. And more so than anything, it's a time thing, because like it takes longer to film something than it does to just do it, for sure. I mean, probably twice as long. And sometimes if I've got a job that I'm going to, but I've got another one right after it, I don't have the time to really spend to film something, because it would make me late for my next one. But I like doing them, and I like sharing them. Just sometimes, again, it's just hard to do when you're working by yourself, and you don't have somebody following you around with a camera while you're talking, and you know, that kind of stuff. I'm gonna get me a drink real fast. Let's see, 86 today, or right now. It was a little bit hotter today. It hadn't been as bad this week though. I've been thankful, because I've been up in that attic a lot, and I've been getting there early to do a lot of attic work, so it's not as hot, but it hadn't been crazy bad. I mean, it's still working in an attic though, so I don't care how much cooler it is outside. If you're working in an attic in the summertime, it's hot. Tools and Tactics just went live, it looks like, testing out some kind of a drill. Your videos are great, fun, informative, have a good community. I agree with that, Justin, appreciate it. Steve Jensen, watch me work, and tool reviews have what made me subscribe. We all enjoy what you do, my man, appreciate that. Let's see, Matt HMM, we got the FlexVolt mud mixer recently, and it can push a 10-inch, 3-foot earth auger into gravel. I use a SDS adapter too. Wings and Pizza, do you own a Vito backpack style bag? Right now, all I've got's the MB5B, and it's kind of a small backpack. I don't have a tech pack or anything like that, and I haven't even put it into use yet. I bought it during the spring promotion to get the SBLD for free, because I wanted to try the SBLD. I've actually got the MB5B. I put it on Facebook, and then if somebody wants to buy it before I use it, they can, and then if I sell it, I sell it, and then if I want it again, I'll buy it again. But I might get to the point here sometime soon where I get to load it out, because it would basically probably be taking the place of my Tech MCT Blackout, which I'm never selling that bag. That's probably my favorite Vito bag, because I never know later on down the road if I got to go to one bag because maybe I have a smaller vehicle that I just drive for service calls. If I get into more service calls and I don't want to carry 5 bags, that would be my 1 bag for sure. I would use the MCT Blackout as my 1 bag if I could only carry 1 bag. But I might change out to the MB5B as I'm running what I'm running now, just so I've got a backpack option for the bigger bag and have my testers and stuff like that in it. But I haven't started using it yet. Apache helicopter video today was great. Matt HMM, he's done not there, too heavy, but we may get him to change that. Oh, he's talking about the tech pack being too heavy. He said we need to, because that's what Matt HMM carries, the tech pack. A lot of people carry the tech pack. Justin's video tomorrow, that's what he's got. He's got a tech pack. Justin Richards is the guest the trade for tomorrow at 1 o'clock if y'all watch those. Not that you asked, but the Vito backpacks aren't as amazing as I thought they'd be. If you actually load it up, it's not your favorite thing to carry or put on your back. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Like, it would be awesome, like, if you just put in there what you needed and then you had a backpack, but you're probably like me and like everybody else. Like, if you've got an empty slot, it's like, oh, what can I put in there? And that's why my SBLD was so daggone heavy, because I stuck something in every single pocket. And I just can't convince myself, hey, you're making this bag as a all that you would need for most jobs type thing, but you still end up sticking stuff in there, which my MP2X, to me, that's what my MP2X is. My MP2X is kind of my grab bag, and I just use it and I clip it on me as a pouch, and I just have it on me everywhere I'm at. And then my SBLD is more of my most jobs bag, like if I need more tools than just what's in my MP2X. And then my MCT right now is just, worst case scenario, a lot of tools that I want to have in my truck, and that if I go into a bigger job, I know I'm going to need them, and it's just an easier option for me to grab that 1 bag, and I can even throw more tools in it. The whole back side's almost empty right now, so I can open those Packout drawers and throw snips and whatever else I've got in my other drawers into that bag and take it in according to whatever job it might be. It's just basically a bigger bag with an empty side that I can load out of my truck for a specific job, is how I'm using that one right now. Matt said his backpack isn't a backpack anymore, but more like vertical storage. So you basically carry it in and open it up, and then it's like, boom, there everything is type thing, instead of packing it around all the time. Mac Bergson just ordered the SAE Klein wrenches. Thank you for the heads up. Last time they were on sale, I accidentally bought 2 sets of the metric. I think I remember you telling me that. Justin, yeah, me too. I use the Packout bag to move in a building. The Vito is overflow storage in my trunk. Apache said that makes sense. I'm looking forward to the progress on that office reno. Like I said, I made an electrical video where I was demoing out the switches that were in that salon room. And it was a big tangle. It took me a while to figure out what in the heck they had going on there, because ultimately there was some switches hidden somewhere around a corner that I didn't even know was there, and it doesn't even make sense to me that they were there, but that building must have been laid out differently at some point in time, and someone didn't take out the other 3 ways. They just left them tucked around a corner in the middle of nowhere, and then I was having a hard time figuring out what was going on with that, and then I finally got it all straightened out. But that's just like right now. Today, I tore out that little bathroom and got rid of all the electric and stuff in there. I didn't film any of that because it was all, it was crawling like crazy. I had to take up all the attic floorboards, all that stuff. But there was a 3-way switch for that hallway outside of that little bathroom over by the basement stairs, all the way across the other side of the hallway. And I'm like, I'm not leaving that switch by that basement stair, because then somebody's going to be in that office and walk over and flip that, and it's going to turn off the hallway lights. So I get rid of that stuff if it's something I'm working on. But again, that job is I'm kind of doing it time and material with them, because I told them up front, I'm going to work on it as long as I can until this job starts. Because once my next job starts, once it's on the schedule and all that stuff, I've got to be on that one, because it's a big job. And I've already had that in the plans for a long time. But they really wanted me to get the kind of worst case scenario, get the infrastructure part of it all in and get it kind of figured out what they was able to do. And then if they've got to find somebody to come finish drywall, paint, lay floors, whatever, they've got people that can do that. But they mostly wanted me to get in there and do the gutting and the framing and some of the electrical stuff and all that stuff. So I'm kind of doing it that way so that if I've got to pull off on it, I didn't give them some price, and then we got to figure out, well, what percentage do you think that you need to pay me type thing. But I'm not going in that, like the idea isn't to go into that whole office space and just make it 100% brand new. Mostly it's those 2 offices in that salon, and then that making that office out of that restroom, laundry room there next to it. That's the main thing that I'm concentrating on. There's other little cosmetic stuff, adding that 1 bathroom. But there's other little cosmetic stuff around the whole entire place that if I have time, I'm going to do it. But it may be something that they end up getting done later. But there's all kinds of electrical work there that needs to be done because they've got switches that you flip them and you have no idea what they do, and you have to spend a lot of time to figure that out. I mean, there are switches all over that place, but it's obvious to me that they have at some point in time, it's not the same way that it was when all that electric was originally ran. Like the layout's different because it's all just weird how it all works. Abraham says, bummer about the video. Again, I may just go ahead and put it, I've got one, but again, there's just not, I've got some work of me taking down lights and stuff like that, but basically all the attic footage was garbage, so I wouldn't be able to use any of that. It's like, you just be staring at a really dark screen and mostly looking at the ceiling 90% of the time, because as soon as my head hit our framing member, the GoPro tilted back. But it does give you an update on what option they're going with, and just some ideas of what I was doing. So I might go ahead and put it out there. People can watch it if they want to. If they don't like it, they don't like it. I'm leaning more and more towards a Packout system. I don't know that I'll go down a deep, expensive rabbit hole. It's been my favorite so far about the locking mechanism. I like the pressing the button and just 1 button and pull it. I can do it all one-handed. The only thing that I like better of any other system, and I haven't used them, so I don't know that I'd like them better, but I think I'd like the DeWalt drawers better, just because they've got a latch on the drawer handle where you just pull it, like it locks in place with that latch. That would be so much nicer than the metal bar taking it off every time and putting it back on the Milwaukees. If I just was able to open my drawer and pop open them drawers, or open my door and pop them drawers open without having to do that. That's the one thing that gets on my nerves about the Milwaukee drawers. Every time I get out of my truck, I gotta put the bar down, put it back up, and then sometimes I forget to put it back up, and then I'll drive and take a curve, and I can hear those doors sitting there doing that, or the drawers doing that. So I would like it if their drawer system locked like the DeWalt ones do. I don't know if you've seen the DeWalt ones, but I've seen them at Home Depot, and basically you stick your hand on the handle and there's like a latch that makes it open and close. That would be a lot nicer. Let's see. The reviews on the Packout hand truck are harsh. It can move a fridge easily and is very well organized. Yeah, I haven't ever tried one of them, and I've never seen one in the store. I've not seen one in person either. My Home Depot doesn't carry it in the store. I've seen videos of it, but I haven't seen it in person. Let's see. Abraham Perez, also about the weather. I just bought a Vito Pro Pack cooler after watching Project Farm's video of it spanking the Yeti. I'll let y'all know how it holds up in the Texas weather. I typically, sometimes, like if I'm working on jobs outside, I'll pack a cooler with me, and I just got some little cheap Igloo ones because I don't carry one very often. Matter of fact, the little Milwaukee tumblers, you put ice in them in my truck, and they last pretty much all day. But that's the only time I pack water. Typically, I'm close to gas stations and stuff like that, that if I end up wanting some water, I just get my truck and drive across the street and go buy me some, because I'm usually not working out somewhere. And again, if I'm working out somewhere outside or whatever, then sometimes I'll pack a cooler. But a lot of times I go to gas stations and buy waters or do whatever. And I have to drink the smart water. That's why I'm such a genius. Actually, that's tap water in a smart water bottle. Matt HMM, you can do a lot with the Matrix or small hatchback for service calls. We had a guy work out of a Buick Park Avenue Ultra. Yeah, I've thought about, in my long-term game, again, it won't be anytime soon, but long-term, I want to do more service work. And I thought about, even if I keep my truck or even if I buy a van, I might still buy like a small hatchback type car that basically is a tool bag car, and that way gas is cheaper and all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of times, again, I don't run a service call business where it's somebody calls me like and they've got this problem that you have to go address, like it's emergency calls and all that. I normally know what I'm getting into. Like I might not 100% know what it is until I get there, but by somebody explaining it over the phone, I've got an idea what I'm getting into, to what I'm going to need and all those. So I would know this sounds like I need my truck with me on the job because I might need a lot of different things for whatever might come up. But if there's something like, hey, I've got a ceiling fan that I want you to put up, it's like I don't need my whole truck at a job to put up a ceiling fan. So if I had a whole day set up of ceiling fans, faucets, towel bars, TVs, whatever else, I could easily just throw in a couple bags of power tools and then my tool bag and drive a small car and save quite a bit on gas and all that kind of stuff. And again, you're not putting your whole truck in harm's way of something happening somewhere. Justin Richards, I'm buying the Vito lunchbox. Been waiting for them to make something like that. That's why I commented on PF. We can warranty that. You can't wear my backpack as a backpack. That's what I mean. I just carry it by the handle. Let's see, Mac Bergson. My favorite tool that I learned about on your channel is the Spider tool holster. It was very helpful when installing Christmas lights last year. Yeah, I use it on a lot of tools. Like I said, I like the Noster, other than like sometimes it's builds you out some and it gets in your way. I like the Spider drill pins way better than I like, if they will fit on your tool. But that's one of those things that they don't fit on every single tool. So if they will fit on your tool, I like them. I don't mind the strap that you put around your handle. It doesn't get in your way, but I prefer the drill pins, and then I like the Noster too. Both of them too have been the best option of, security anyways. I mean, there's other things like even some of the standard belt clips are pretty good, but as far as it's not going to come off your body unless you physically want it to come off your body, I think both of those two are pretty much been the best two things I've ever used. Russ Albright, where did you get the protective boot cover for your Surge? It seems they don't make one specifically for the Surge anymore. Did you find something that works? Mine is the Milwaukee one, but I bought it a long time ago. And yeah, they basically made it for the impact driver of that year. Just the standard impact driver, like, let's see. This is the newer model, but same thing like a Surge, but just the impact driver. And I think it also might have fit the 1/4-inch stubby maybe as well. And it's that same model number. And if you go back to like either my warranty video, the one where I warranted the Surge, there's several people that commented, and there's a part number in there where I replied back that this is the part number you need. Home Depot, it's sold out. You can't find it. The only place you're going to probably find an actual Milwaukee one is on eBay, because again, they quit making it because now they're just making them for the new impact drivers. But they also have a generic one on Amazon. I haven't had it, but if you get that part number, you can search it and find it on Amazon. I haven't tried that one. I don't know if it's any good. And then I think Jersey Discount Tool Company sells one as well that you can get, that they make their own sales. But there's also, I think there's some knockoffs on eBay too that are like red, and they've got some different color ones and stuff like that. But none of them, you won't find one that has the Milwaukee logo on it like the one that I've got on mine. Matt says Amazon knockoff. I got backstock of the original. Apache, yeah, the best route is time and material on that job, or a fixed day route for work, non-trade specific. Fixed day rate and material reimbursement. Yeah, that's what I'm basically just charging them X amount of dollars per hour that I'm there, and then also time, the materials, plus a little bit of markup on materials, but not much. And that's only just because I've got my money tied up until, they pay me. But they're buying a lot of, like, they're paying for the dumpsters and, all that kind of stuff. I'm not having to be out that money. And again, normally I do that with some customers just because they're a customer who calls me up and says, I want you to do it. And therefore, if it's going to save me the time of estimating, because that would have been a hard job to estimate, not really knowing exactly what you're getting into, you'd have to really overestimate it to make sure you didn't lose money. And they're not a customer that I really want to do that to anyway. So I just told him I'd rather just do this time and material, and then that way I can just start working on it. And it is what it is when it's all said and done. Y'all know I'm not going to rip you off, and I'm going to end up over here working whatever it is to get it done. And because I told him my schedule is pretty slammed right now, so I'm really going to only be able to come over here, and there's going to be a certain time where I'm not going to be able to be over here very much at all. So I didn't want to give them some price, spend all the time estimating that to finish the whole entire thing, and then me not even be able to do it. And so this was just the best route for that specific job. Sirius Myco, probably butchered that, buddy. This is my first time seeing your videos. What's your opinion on a better storage system? I don't like the clear Packout lids. They break too easy. I've never had any of mine break, but I don't know. I don't keep mine out in the weather. That might play a role in it, like if you got heat and all that kind of stuff. But I've only run the Packout, so I don't know. And even before I had Packout, I was running the other Milwaukee organizers that are a lot like Packout. So that's all I've ever had. So some other people on here might be able to comment on that and let you know. Mac Bergson, I also said I wouldn't buy too much Packout. I was wrong. Yeah, mine keeps building, which I've got a bunch in my truck, and then I've got, all those over there in the corner. Every time I go into the depot, I find some more that I need to end up getting. And then I still got, these are all those other organizers that I was just talking about. Again, I don't know if Sirius. So that's all I've ever used. Flex drawers lock individually like that too. That's good to know. Because I've thought about, if I get to a point where I can use my Milwaukee Packout drawer somewhere else, I thought about swapping, because mine stay in my truck. So it's not like it's a move, as long as my stuff locks into it, which then I'd have my other little organizers and all that. So it'd still be a big ordeal. But I thought about, if I found some drawers that I liked, I would swap at least maybe my drawers on the other side, because I don't really keep anything else but drawers on that side over there. I would swap those. Let's see. Mac Bergson just ordered the Packout mug from Acme with their 15% off the other day. The cups, they work really well. Like I said, I've had mine in the heat of summer sitting in my truck with just ice water in it, and I'll get out there at the end of the day, and it's still, most of the ice is kind of starting to be gone, but it's still got little bitty bits in there, and it's still cold. I've been pretty surprised with it. And mostly, again, I didn't buy it because I bought it because it was Milwaukee. I just thought it looked cool, but it works pretty well too. Apache says that's even more genius. Let's see, Mac Bergson, got to look fancy with the smart water for those rich customers. Yeah, that's tap water in a smart water bottle. That's how you do it. It's just like everything else in the world. You go and buy yourself a ring at Walmart for your fiance, but then you go to K Jewelers and you tell them, man, I just need a box. I need a box to put my ring in. It's the same thing you do with the smart water bottle. It's tap water inside here. It's all about appearances. Same thing with tools and everything. As long as you got the good ones, it doesn't matter if you know how to use them right. You look like you know how to use them. The amount you save on gas, you will pay in insurance. Yeah, probably so if I had two vehicles. But I was more so thinking about saving on gas, but also just saving on mileage on my truck, just so I could keep my truck longer too. So that was the part that was really in my brain of, if I could knock out driving my truck to town a couple days a week, it's just, it will last a little bit longer type thing. Vegan's Cookie Good, I offer Voss water. Voss, or what's the other ones? I don't even know what fancy water is. I know Fiji or something like that. That might be fancy. I like the smart water, though. I buy those at the gas station. I like the taste of it. And then, whenever I get home, I usually fill up that one, and I'll take it with me. And then if I run out, I'll go buy me another one during the day. Wings and pizza, do you run any Festool? The only Festool tool that I have is the CT26. Let's see if I can get in the picture. Vacuum right there. And it's because I got it at a crazy deal. A buddy of mine had it and wasn't really using it. And he had the track saw, Festool track saw, and he got that. He got it for a crazy good deal, and he was never using that. And I really needed one, and I was like, well, how much you sell that to me for? And I think he sold it to me for $100. So I got that vacuum for $100. But he's the guy who I work with a lot, and I bring him tools all the time, and he brings me tools all the time. We're always doing that for each other. Sirius, Myco, I have messed my clear lids up. I sprayed them with the greaser to get oil off, and it ate the clear plastic hinges up. Oh yeah, again, I don't keep mine outside, and I don't keep mine don't get crazy dirty because I don't work on job sites like that kind of job sites typically, unless it's just me. And even if it is, if I work on job sites and it's really nasty, like if I'm going to be sanding drywall, I don't keep any of my tools inside, that day. I just leave them in my truck. So, but yeah, I haven't sprayed anything on mine, so I don't know if that's what happens or not either. Dinner time, darn us West Coasters. Yeah, it's almost getting my bedtime. Was it 7? I'm getting close to 7:30, or it is 7:30. So don't spray them, I recommend. So I appreciate you telling me that, because I always use Houdini to clean all my stuff. And it's like, I've got tons of stuff on videos that says that, but it's a lock spray. If I clean anything tool-wise, that's what I clean it with. You can get it on Amazon. You could get it at Lowe's. But if you get it at your local locksmith, it's cheaper than Amazon. Like, it's $14 a can on Amazon, and a guy was just messaging back and forth with me, asking me what he should get to clean his tools at Lowe's. Like, he was texting me. It was a guy I used to work with, and because he said, I can't find Houdini anywhere. And I told him to go to his locksmith, and I think he said they were $10 a can at his locksmith. So $5 off if you can find a local locksmith that has them. That's where I ended up buying my first. That's how I came across it and started using it. When your ice maker at home broke, I would fill my Packout mugs with ice from work. Matt HMM, could I get? Oh, he's talking about the boots. Mac Bergson Jersey Discount Tool Company does have an M18 Surge boot. Search the Hex Impact Driver boot or look under the Jersey Discount Tool section. And then Nissan asked Sirius, what degreaser did you use that messed up your Packouts? Anybody get any new tools this week? CRC degreaser is what he used. So ate the tabs off the batteries too. CRC degreaser in the green can. So note to self, don't use CRC degreaser on anything. I don't think I've ever used that. I think I know what you're talking about because I think I've seen it in the green cans, but I've never used it. Like I said, I've always used Houdini. I use them on my batteries. I use them on my power tools. They're 4 locks, and it says on there specifically that it works on electronic locks, and that's what made me start using it on my power tools, because I'm like, well, if it'll work on electronic locks and not mess them up. So see, it says amazing lubricant for, let me see, I got to get over here so I can read this backwards. The amazing lubricant for all key electric and combination locking devices. So whenever I saw that, because I used to use it on like my keypad locks and stuff like that, I just decided I'm going to try it on some power tools. And like I said, I'm not recommending that you do it on your power tools, because for all I know, you'll do it and it'll mess them up. But I have been spraying all my power tools for probably 10 plus years with this stuff, and I've never had one, as far as I know, mess up because I've been using this. Let's see. Apache said, I sold tools this week, $2,500 worth of DeWalt killed me. Man, that's a lot of tools, $2,500. Did you sell them on to people you knew or on Facebook? Or only thing I've got like 15 things for sale on Facebook. But the only thing I sold this week, I finally got rid of those flat panel LEDs that I've had sitting over here for a little while that I took out of a job. I took out 4 of those. They were pretty much like new. They were, I think they were Sylvanias. I think that's what they were. Got rid of those. I didn't really buy much this week that I can think of. I ordered some stuff. I haven't got them yet. I've ordered a few things off Amazon. I ordered another magnetic mat of some kind. It's a little bit different size. I'm going to see if it fits in my SBLD like I think that it's going to. And then I've ordered a couple other things. Justin Richards, I got that Klein bullpen, a new Packout organizer, and the M18 radio. Hydro Chris just ordered the Klein wrenches from Lowe's. Mac Bergson got the Hercules bandsaw holder. I think I saw that. It works great with my M18 deep cut bandsaw. Matthew Ellsworth said he got the new Roby 4-volt rotary tool, weak but cheap compared to the Milwaukee and the Dremel. I had a job where I needed a small rotary tool for something, and I didn't have anything on me. I hadn't bought that M12 one yet, and it was probably going to be a little bit too powerful. I think I was doing a tile shower floor, and I had the drain. It was a circle, and I was trying to get them to clean up my cuts. And so I went to Harbor Freight and bought this little thing. Like this whole kit was, I don't know, a few bucks or whatever. A little Warrior doodad here, plugs in. It came with quite a bit of stuff, and it didn't do too bad. Like I said, I wasn't doing anything major with it. I was just mostly trying to clean the edge of a tile, and I didn't have anything else on me that wasn't too powerful and too aggressive. And this little thing wasn't too awful bad for what it was. So I've just kept it in here inside this little thing in case I ever need it again. But that's the only time I've ever used it. But I didn't know Roby had a little 4-volt when I don't even have a little Dremel tool or anything. I've never bought a small Dremel tool. Abraham says he uses a CRC brake cleaner for some stuff, but it does say don't use it on plastics. So Apache says, I've had a guy that buys lots of tools from me. He resells to a local shop guy. Saraya says, I'm glad I found your content. Appreciate that. Yeah, I think I'm going to sell, I haven't decided yet. I think I might sell my DP3 because I'm using it as a meter pouch, but now that I've got my vest, I have never pulled that out anymore. Like I had used it a couple times because I throw my meter in it with some tools, but ever since I got that tool vest, I've not used my DP3 one time because I throw my vest on and I put the meter in a pocket and then I've got some tools. So I haven't decided yet. I think I might end up selling it. It's still a good, like, again, you'll see me review something and you'll see that I even like it, but I still may sell it just because I've got so much stuff that I can't use all of it. And if there's something I'm not using, I try to sell it for a deal for somebody else so that they can use it or whatever. Because I'm trying to think of what else I've got on there for sale on Facebook. I don't know if any of y'all have got the DP3. How much are y'all using the DP3 that maybe you got it for free during the promotion? I like it. I think it's nice. I won't ever use it to hold a drill. I was using it to hold a meter because I've always used my Spider tool holster or my Nosters or whatever to hold my little impacts and stuff like that. And again, with that vest, I don't see myself probably ever grabbing it out and using it. I'd rather wear my vest and put my MP2X on than to wear a pouch that's bigger and all that kind of stuff. Nissan CRC clearly says don't use on plastics. That can is for heavy use only. Mac Bergson, I bought the new M18 high torque on a Home Depot deal, but then a guy in a job offered me $40 more than I paid for it. I only used it one time. Milwaukee M12 rotary tool is decent. I thought about getting that one too because again, my 1/4 inch die grinder is really good for some things, but it's almost a little bit too aggressive. I guess it really depends on what you put on it, but I use it for strike plates and stuff like that. If I need to make something a little bit bigger, that's mainly what I use that for. I do use it on other stuff as well, but 9 times out of 10, that's all I use that die grinder for. Like if a deadbolt, if the door is out of whack and it's making your deadbolt not lock, but fixing your door is not really a fix because somebody installed the door poorly with the latch the way that it is. Like sometimes you just got to work with what you got. There's no real fixing it unless somebody gets a new door. So sometimes that's your only option is just to eat out some of that plate and make it to work and lock. Matthew Ellsworth, I used to do it, weird cuts in the laminate flooring. I used it to do weird cuts in the laminate flooring I'm laying. They're new, small, rechargeable tools that I like. I have the small inflator, 1/4 inch ratchet, and the rotary tool. Soraya says that CRC cleans so good, I just use it and I didn't read the can. The green brake cleaner don't eat the plastic like the green degreaser does. And let's see, Hydro Chris says he just got the small Vito LTLD blackout, great little EDC grab bag. LTLD, is it the LTLD or a TPLD? I don't know if I've seen a LTLD. I have to look that up if it's something new. I know that Vito came out with some other drill holsters besides the DP3 as well. They're like DH something or other. But again, I would never use a drill holster. I even bought the Atlas one for my vests. I don't know if it's over here. I might have got it. I might have put it up in a different bin. I think I did. I've got all my extra Atlas stuff and all that stuff in a tote up top. I bought back whenever I bought my first Atlas vest. I bought some of their stuff to put on, and it's really expensive. And I didn't care for very many of them. The only one I really like is the Fastener bag, and the rest of them I've got in a bag up there. I probably need to put them on Facebook and sell them. I might end up selling my Saratoga vest too, with the one that I just ordered that I'm getting. It might work out better than that. Now that I've got other vest options, I might end up going with the one that I ordered. Just depends. I'm gonna wait till I get it and see. TPLD, I think you reviewed. Yeah, I've got that one. That's why whenever you said the other one, whenever you said LTLD, I thought it was maybe some new bag that I didn't know that there was one. I haven't started using it yet. I'm basically going to use it if I didn't like the open top on the SBLD, and I may change to that one just during the winter time because the winter time is a little bit rougher. But I've got the TPLC right there. It's empty. I've got it on Marketplace now that I've got that TPLD, because to me the TPLD is a better version of the TPLC. So out of those two, I know I'll keep that one, and because I've been keeping the TPLC the same as I told you I would keep my Vito MCT even if I'm not using it. That's my favorite bag. Like I know that I would use it at some point in time. I'm gonna go back to it if I'm using a different setup or whatever, because if I can only have one bag, and I felt that way about the TPLC, it was my favorite small bag up until the point of I got the SBLD and now the TPLD. So I've been keeping that, but to me that TPLD is a better version of that, so I don't have any reason to keep that anymore. M. Dunbar said he got a new pair of channel lock 969 Lyman, best for pre-twist on NMC. Now there's a few topics tradesmen are passionate about. Type Lyman and pre-twist. Yeah, if you do you twist or not twist, that's always a big thing. But I'm gonna tell you though, I mean, I'm not saying don't pre-twist, but if you use these dudes right here, like if I take 2 wires, matter of fact, I'll go cut 2 wires off real fast. Let me get a pair of, I haven't used these strippers yet, but we'll see. So I'll be right back, even though I'm not in the footage. And it might do different because I'm going to be holding it in my hand, but if you take one of these type of wire nuts And again, I'm not saying don't pre-twist. I'm just saying certain wire nuts. Let's see, solid. And it might do different because it's such a small set of wires. But if you really put one of these kind of wire nuts on, and you put them on and keep twisting until you get a twist on your wires, and then you take them off, I mean, that's what this wire nut does. So you do all that, and you still end up with that. I didn't pre-twist that at all, and to me, that's, let me see if I can get it to where. So certain wire nuts, in my opinion, that's what it's meant to do, anyways. And these are pretty much the only ones I use. These are my favorite ones. It's the Twister Pro, which is pretty much, I use these are Wagos. I only use Wagos mostly on lights. I like to use Wagos on things that are going to get changed out, like a light fixture, all those things, because I always hate whenever I get into a light fixture and somebody has taken, all the grounds and all that crap and has it twisted like this. It's like, now I got to try to get all that apart just to get this light fixture out. And then all those wires, to me, it seems like if you constantly twist them wires back and forth, and again, does somebody normally change a light more than 5 times in its lifetime? Probably not. But it's like if you're in some kind of place where stuff happens pretty regularly, that's a lot of twisting and untwisting, twisting and untwisting on a set of wires in your box. I don't think that that's probably very good for it. But that's why I use Wagos on that kind of stuff. And if it's more permanent stuff, this is what I do. I don't know what to do with my lid. And if you buy these on eBay, crazy cheaper than what they are anywhere else. Like you can buy this pack of, let's see, 500 of them. I don't remember what the deal was I got on them whenever I bought them on eBay, but it was like probably a third of the price of what it is at my rec sale store for getting them on eBay. Wired nuts and testicles. Some wire testicles. I think I lost the chat. Let's see. Oh no, I'm there. There's M Dunbar. So wished it came with a shoulder strap, easier to haul up ladders, but I added a knockoff for now. Yeah, sometimes I was thinking that it did come with one, or no, not that one. There was something else that the DP3, I was talking about maybe selling it, so I was trying to figure out what all came with it. It was just a little handle thing too. I'm surprised that it didn't come with a strap, but I've always, I've gotten straps with my MCTs. I don't use one very often. I've actually got a couple of Vito straps. I've got a Milwaukee strap that came with my pole saw. I've always got some kind of strap around, but I typically don't use one very often, but every now and then it is nice to have one. There's TPG. You barely made it. You completely missed it. Well, I actually, whenever I first put I don't know how soon YouTube puts it out, when you schedule it, that people can see it as a this is going to happen thing. But luckily my wife told me, because I planned on doing it tonight, because tomorrow I've got something I've got going on. And she told me, well, it says here you're doing it on the 24th or whatever tomorrow is. I can't remember what tomorrow is. So I actually picked the wrong date. So then I was afraid, well, some people might have already seen that I was going to do it on Saturday, and then they're not going to pay attention to it, and they're going to be mad because they get on Saturday and missed it on Friday type thing. So Elliot Parrish, I've been thinking all week we need a Morgan's Maintenance Forum so we can share tool deals and ask questions for jobs. I probably need to. Like I said, I don't make the Klein thing I did today. I didn't make I don't make videos like that very often, just because I feel like I don't want to burn people out on tool deal videos. But I could probably, at least, like I said, I need to do better at least posting on my community post, if nothing else, because I find stuff all the time, online. I'm looking around all the time, and but I don't. Sometimes I don't have time to make a little video about it, and I think, well, I can't make a video about it, so I won't be able to tell people. But it's pretty easy for me to make a post from my phone on the community tab. I don't know how much people see those, because like I said, I watch YouTube on my TV most of the time, and I don't ever see posts on my TV, so I don't know how often people see them. Todd Turner says, ideal, headquartered in my hometown. Both mama and daddy worked there for years. So you probably got a lot of really good stuff from there. That'd be pretty awesome. Justin, I don't think's in here anymore. I'm curious about, I meant to ask him, but I guess, I don't know if you're still in here, Justin, or not, but I was going to ask him, which I asked him in the Guest to Trade video tomorrow about one of the things that he's got. I'm interested in a Klein thing that he had in his bag, if it's something that's still available or if he's had it for a long time type thing. Your notebook that you've got, is that something that you've had for a long time, or did you get that somewhere? TPG ordered some Noster belt clips today. I think you'll like them, TPG. Like I said, I love them on my tape measures. I absolutely love them on my tape measures. And then I like them on my tools as well. The M12 Surge is the only one that some people have had some problems with it fitting. But I think because I got mine back when they first were a thing, just came out. And they had some stuff that said it worked with the M12. But there was a lot of people that were having problems with it loosening and twisting on. Of course, the M12 Surge has a really small belt holder, belt clip screw. And but I think they have since done something and made an adapter or did something, but I haven't bought any in a long time, so I don't know if it's a good fix or not. But I never had that issue because I had the boot on my Surge and the little teeth were digging in on my boot. So it didn't ever do it on mine, but a buddy of mine, it was messing. It did what everybody was saying on his. It didn't. The screw would loosen up, and then the nose would start turning on them, which you could maybe do Loctite or something like that, and it might would help. But let's see. Jason M says, I see them all the time, always helpful. Let's see. Got it in 2017 off the Klein website, so it's probably not a thing anymore then. It's kind of like I get questions all the time on this, like almost every short video, especially because it's more up close and people see it. And I think a lot of people that watch shorts, they don't really, some people only watch shorts and they don't see my other videos. But that right there, I guess, was a promo deal. It's a thermos, so like you take the top off and it's got a little pop deal right there. You pour yourself some soup or coffee or whatever. I mean, I've never used it. It's pretty much, I bought it to set out here on my workbench. But I saw one on Facebook Marketplace. I didn't even know this was a thing, but it was maybe like 100 miles from me or something like that. And I was like, nah, I ain't driving 100 miles to get it. And so, but then since I knew it was a thing, I started searching on eBay, and there's still a lot of these on eBay. You can get them. But I think that what this was like the deals where, you go into your electric store supplier, and sometimes they have like grill spatulas and tongs. And if you spend so much money on Klein, you get something for free type thing. I think that's what this was. So I don't think this has ever been anything that you could buy at a store type thing, but you can get them on eBay. But I get questions on that, like a lot of videos. People say, "What's that big Klein thing that's back there in the background?" Todd said he has some, but he wasn't too into tools at that time when his mom and dad worked at the Ideal place. I put a bit holder on my Surge. Yeah, the Noster comes with a bit holder as well. I've never used it because I didn't like the way that it kind of felt whenever I was using it. But they've got a little thing that clicks in and out that you can use as a bit holder. I've never used it. I didn't care for it. But I didn't like like I said, my M12, it puts all the bits down there by your handle, and it just seemed like or not by your handle, but it just sticks it out even more. It felt like it on the top and the bottom, so I didn't use it. Whenever you put it on an M18, it puts the bits down there by the handle, and I didn't like that either. So I never used the bit holder on the Noster, but it does come with one. Justin Richards, where to buy Klein gear, home and office. It's a great little notebook. Oh, so it might still be in there. Classy and understated. They have a brown leather one too now. That'd be nice. I like brown better. So I didn't even mention in my truck loadout video I've had the Carhartt. I bought those on eBay. I found them and they had the driver and the passenger, not the back seat, which was fine by me because I didn't need the back seat one. I got them for nothing. I think it was like $40. Those things are like 200 and something dollars a piece, but they have been the best seat covers I've ever had in my entire life. Like I used to go through seat covers like once every couple months. They'd just be shredded, and I have had those probably. I think I bought them maybe 2 years after I bought the truck in 2016, so 2018, so 4, 5, 6 years now. And I mean, they still look almost just like the day that I bought them and put them in. So they are crazy expensive, but if I buy another truck or I buy anything, I don't care if I spend full price on them. That's the seat covers that I'm going to buy if I'm investing it in my truck. Klein Swiss Army knife. That was probably something they probably had at one, which Klein has knives like that. I've never bought any, like a pocket knife type knife. I've never bought any of their knives. I've seen several of them that they've got like that. Well, I think the wife came home, so I think she's done walking. Been on here for an hour and 45, so appreciate y'all. Hopefully y'all like the tool loadout part of it, or the truck loadout part of it anyways. Like I said, I'll try to do something at the beginning of all the lives so that when people get on here to watch the video later, they can watch that, whatever the purpose of the video was. And if y'all want to sit in here and chat, I like doing that as well too. But I'm going to go ahead and get off here, go in there and get me a little bite to eat and go to bed. But appreciate y'all being in here. Let's see. TPG just said something. I'll go back and watch that part. Justin, thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Always a pleasure. But y'all have a good one. Y'all have a blessed evening, blessed weekend. Hopefully y'all don't have to work too awful much. See ya, Hydro Chris. Just saw that pop up there.